Hey guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Sorry I'm late. I was engrossed in Colin's stream. The judge is like, now if you can't do what I'm going to tell you to do, make sure you tell probation. And I don't even know what's going on, but A, I know she's not going to do what the judge just told her to do. And B, there's no way she's going to tell probation about it. Hmm. Fozzie, it's fine. Go do Collins. This is a 2.5 hour uh thing. It'll be fine. Go have fun with Colin, Fozzie. Get out of here. Go. Hi, Nays. Hi, Jam Cracker. Hi, Jusco. Oh man, guys. Okay, you know how I said take a shot every time you hear the word objection? Do not do that. Hi, Nancy. Yes. Hi, Monica. I'm doing a live Sunday night because apparently the time that I normally do lives, a lot of people can't get to because, it's at the. Am I allowed to say it? I'm going to say it anyway, so I'm already demonetized. It's at the ass crack of dawn, so no, nobody's awake. The sun's not even awake. So I thought I would do one every once in a while at a normal time so that other people who can't normally see me can come into the live and see my chat. My chat is awesome. My chat is way, way, way better than the videos. Like I sometimes forget all about the videos and then I remember I got to put another one on real quick. Let me see, who did I miss? J Fire. Hi J Fire. Hi Monica. Hi KC. Who did I? Hi Christy. Hi Amy. Hi Jerry. Okay, I'm good. All right, I'm good. Look, if I don't say hi to you, I see you in chat. I do. Yes, the crack of dark. The crack of dark. That's when I do it. And it's not waking up early for me. I've never been to bed yet. When I do my 4:30 a.m. streams, I have not been to bed yet anytime. Except for like this morning I was supposed to start at 4:30 and then I started at 6 because I accidentally fell asleep. But, that's life. Sometimes naps just happen. You can't control naps all the time. Judge, it was the mouthwash. The mouthwash made me fall asleep, Judge. I drank 3 bottles of it. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? So we're going to California today. And yes, I realize that the last time I said we were in California, we were actually in Florida. But really, they're both the same thing to someone who lives in Pennsylvania. They're both the same thing. California and Florida are both the same thing because it's sunny and it's beautiful, and I have to shovel snow, so I hate everybody there when I shovel. But that's okay. It's okay. I was wrong. I mean, I'm going to admit I'm wrong because I apparently have to admit I'm wrong every stream now. That's okay. Again, I was wrong. This one is absolutely in California. Now, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's in like Stellantis County, and that's wrong, but it's close enough that anybody who lives in California will say, "Oh, okay, we know what we're talking about." And the defendant, we get to hear from the defendant a little bit, but it's his lawyer that's the star of this show. And the other lawyer is just so mean to this guy. This lawyer has no idea what he's doing, and the other lawyer is making it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And the judge is, again, trying to wrangle cats, getting this. This is just a tiny little hearing. It's not the trial. It's just a hearing. No, that's not it. Okay, hold on. I got to find it for people who need to know. This is from Stanislaus County. Stanislaus. Stanislaus County. All right? It's as close as I'm going to get. Hi, PJ. Thank you. My gosh. PJ's from Scotland. I love Scotland. I saw Scotland once from Ireland. I didn't go to Scotland, but I was at a point in Ireland where you could just see over the water a little piece of Scotland. It was like, I don't know how far away it was, but I got to see Scotland once, as close as I got. All right, I'm gonna start this complete mess of a hearing. It's just so bad, and I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to pause it every once in a while and say something because YouTube needs me to. I'm sorry. But hopefully I don't forget. Sometimes I get into it and then I don't forget. Here we go.
Kindly ask that the defendant not approach.
Not to try to speak with any witnesses.
Exactly.
Okay. He may not have known that that was a problem because I don't know that I specifically instructed him on that.
Okay.
I've told the jurors that they can't do that, but I have not told Mr. Covarrubias that he can't speak to any witnesses. And I'm not even sure. I mean, it's probably safer that he doesn't do that. And it certainly can't be to obstruct justice.
Right.
So I'm not sure whether there's a prohibition about that.
I just wanted the court to be aware that there may or may not have been communication. That's all.
Mr. Covarrubias is raising his hand.
Okay, hold on. No, it's even possible that I'm not even sure. He may not even know him.
Well, he was the investigating officer and took the interview while he was in custody.
Yeah, I know he's Gonzalez, but.
And he testified in front of him, explaining that he was a witness here.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not sure Mr. Covarrubias would understand that he can't talk to witnesses, and I'm not sure that's the state of the law. As long as he's not obstructing justice, and so talking to a witness. So you can say hello. You can say, where's the bathroom? I mean, there are things that can be said. I don't know what was said. And Mr. Covarrubias, I don't think it's a good idea that you address me because you might say something that's incriminating.
Yeah, let me clear that. I saw my kid outside alone, and I know I can talk to him. I was about to go to McDonald's to eat something. I just want to ask if can I go take lunch with him?
Okay.
Because my kid was alone out there.
I see.
So that was the only bad. My lawyer was about he wasn't present.
And you asked Detective.
I asked him if can I ask him a question.
I see.
So that was it.
Okay.
It was all related to lunch with my kid.
And that's fine. As I said, I don't think that I've not prohibited you from communicating with Officer Gonzalez. I've not ordered you not to.
I just want to.
I just think.
Clear, yeah.
So
yeah.
I trust what you're saying is true, and I don't think there's any problem with it. I think Ms. Sharif is just disclosing
Yes.
that she received that information. So, all right. Anything else we need to take up?
No.
Well,
just,
go ahead.
Hi,
no,
Texas.
just our investigator speaking. They're making a report, but
Well, okay.
it's
But have you disclosed what that information is?
no. I can.
Why don't you just say it out loud here?
Okay,
Because I think
so-
it might be helpful for me to know too, in case there's any issues.
When I was talking to the son, he mentioned that after the incident, when the mom left the room, the mom went into the bedroom, the son and the other children also went. They locked the door. The dad tried to get into the room, trying to unlock the door. Something about how the defendant has come around the house after the incident, after he's left, texted the son, saying either who called the police or why did you call it, something about why is the police there. And then the son also mentioned that this type of incident has happened in the past. One was about a year ago, one was when he was a baby. There's been times when they've had to go into another room as a family, the children and him, lock the door in fear of the defendant. And that is all.
Okay, well, none of that is all that, so maybe it's surprising that this particular person is saying that, but I don't think that type of evidence is a particular surprise because we've already heard some testimony about that. I'm not saying that it's true or not. I'm just saying that it's not a surprise that somebody would say that because the mother has already talked about a prior incident, and she's already discussed that there are arguments in front of the kids sometimes. So none of that is a surprise. But in any event, I think it would be, if you're going to try to adduce any of that information through the testimony of that witness, that the report be provided to Mr. Nwobi before he testifies?
So I still have Officer Gonzalez on the stand.
Yes?
And then as soon as our investigator is done, she will write the report. I don't know how long that's gonna take.
But are you expecting to, are you,
That information?
yes,
Yes.
and which specific information?
I
The
mean,
prior acts of
the prior
violence?
acts, the mere fact that, you know, the actions of what the defendant did while they were still in the residence that evening. The prior acts, and then maybe even the fact that that there was communication between the defendant and the witness, and the fact that the defendant was accusing the son or somebody of why are they calling the police?
Well, I'm not sure that that necessarily is all that relevant, but
But I would, at least I'll be using the prior acts and the issue of trying to get into the bedroom.
okay,
Your Honor, if I may.
go ahead.
I mean, the situation is a whole lot based on a whole lot of trumped up charges.
You said that before, and I don't
uh,
want you to argue the charges right
No,
now.
no, no.
Just this one issue.
Yes, in this one issue that she's talking about, was when was the contact made? Was it after the protective order or prior to that?
I would guess that it was before the protective order, because it seems to me that it was around the time the police were called.
Okay.
I don't know that, and I don't think they're alleging that it's a violation of the criminal protective order,
Okay, yes, Your Honor, and
or emergency protective order, rather.
yes, and in that situation, he was just a father trying to talk to his son. Like as soon as the court put the emergency protective order, he respected that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to object that it's not relevant, that he
Yes.
tried to contact his son,
Exactly. Yes, it's not relevant.
is that what your objection is?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
And what is your response to the contact? What was said in the contact that might change or have
I'm not
influence?
too quite sure exactly what, all I know is some basis of why the police being present in I didn't go into the details of what was inside the text message.
I mean, a witness can testify to what has happened. And if that's part of what happened in the immediate, surrounding the circumstance, a witness can testify to that. I don't think it's all that incriminating, or it's not exculpatory. It's not all that inculpatory in my assessment. I don't know what he's going to say, but I think that a witness can describe what happened around the events, and that is relevant. But again, I don't think it's particularly damaging or particularly helpful to either side.
Okay, Your Honor.
And so let's talk about your witnesses. You said you have witnesses now.
Yes, I have. I have 3 people that will be testifying.
And who are they?
So the one will be the defendant.
Okay, that one, you don't need to tell me until the people have closed, but go ahead. Who
The
else?
second is his son.
Okay, we already know about that.
Okay, and then the third one is Jesus Soto.
And who is Jesus Soto?
Is his friend that lives in LA.
And is he the person that you're hoping to testify on Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have the people agreed to that?
No, we have no idea about any witnesses. We were not made aware of any witnesses. There were no motions in limine filed or a witness list provided to the people. We are in the middle of trial. And now this information is coming out that somebody wants to testify. And aside from that, they want to testify via Zoom. The people object to any witnesses from the defense because no witness list was provided prior to trial.
I mean, I understand.
And what you
that.
did tell us, Mr. Norby, is that you weren't going to call any witnesses except the defendant's son. And we discussed the possibility that the defendant himself would testify and that he could make that decision himself at a later time. So this person was not known to the court, wasn't disclosed to the people. And I think you're asking to have this person testify on Zoom. And if the people are not in agreement to that, I cannot force that.
Okay, Your Honor. I'll talk further with my.
And I don't even know what he would say. I mean, that's something that I would really want an offer of proof.
Yes, I'll talk. I'll dig further into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Corvallis is raising his hand.
Yeah. For him, a lot of trouble with my lawyer. The lawyers what he worked for. I was assigned a really bad lawyer before him. So
3 lawyers
everything
before him.
I already gave it to them, and she just messed up with all the information. So he's more likely new in the case, and he didn't knew. I told the office of my lawyers, tell him everything I want to show in the case, but they just suddenly say, I don't know. That is your lawyer, but they're not showing anything. What I asked to prove that was an accident. I already have bunch of proofs to them, and even a list of like 10 witnesses about what she has been done to me, because that's my defense. Okay, that's my defense. And for some reason, this lawyer couldn't make it. She wasn't doing her job, and I don't know. I think he's doing it well, but he just get assigned very late.
Well, Mr. Nwobi has now appeared on your case for several court appearances, and the case was continued, if you remember. Mr. Nwobi had asked for continuance because he was new to the case. I wasn't inclined to grant that continuance, but once I heard there was new discovery, and you have the right to have that discovery and present a defense, in my view, that gave you all plenty of time to be prepared. The trial was originally set on March 1st. Mr. Nwobi came in on the case, and the jury trial was set on March 4th. Well, it got continued because of both reasons. So that, in my opinion, gave the two of you plenty of time to figure out which witnesses needed to be subpoenaed.
I want the right to get. He's one of my main witnesses of what she have been done to me.
But I'm not even sure if it's relevant. I mean, I think the court would have to make that person would have to have been subpoenaed to appear in court today or be here for your trial.
I didn't know that.
Well, you have a lawyer that's here to tell you about all of that.
Yeah, I don't know the steps, and for some reason this office messed up with my case. I don't have control.
Well, what did you expect Mr. Soto to testify about specifically? Just an offer of proof. You, Mr. Nwobi, not your client. No, Mr. Nwobi has to answer this question.
It seems like he feels that the Mr. Soto has details on how he feels that his wife had abused him over the years, and that he has all the information. And the question now is, if I can agree with the prosecution, if he can testify on Zoom, or if he has to be here physically. He lives in LA, that's all.
Well, he needed to be physically present if you were going to call him as a witness. Okay. You told me you were not calling any witnesses, yes, and we went forward with the trial. I am not delaying things now for that.
Okay, yeah, this was, this happened today, so. But it's just for him to understand, and hopefully the interpreter explains that to him.
Well, you have to explain it. The interpreter's just going to interpret what you say.
Yes, what is said in court.
Yes, of course, she's doing that right now.
Okay, no problem.
So,
do they need a moment to discuss what just happened?
I don't know.
No, we don't need a moment. I think we are fine. And also, Your Honor, I have a question. At this point, if we are done with the detective, if he pleases the court, then he should excuse himself from here. If we are done, I don't know if we're still done.
You're raising that issue again about whether he can sit at counsel table as the investigating officer. I've already ruled on that. I ruled on it at the motions in limine stage. And I'll just remind you, Mr. Nwobi, that you told me you had no objection, so I granted that motion. I'm also not aware of any legal grounds as to why I should not grant that request by the people. The law provides for it. So
Thank you, Your Honor.
anything else before we resume? I was planning on going over jury instructions, but we don't have time now. I would say, Ms. Sharifi, I think that there needs to be some work on the actual offenses and the lessers. There's a couple of typos, but we don't have time to discuss it now. So we'll figure out when we're going to do that when we see how this case is going. It may be in the morning tomorrow, such as maybe 8:15 or something like that.
For scheduling, after Officer Gonzalez, I'm gonna put the sign up,
Yes.
and then whenever the report gets to know what we. Aside from that, that's all we have. So the people were just, Officer Gonzalez is on the stand. I don't have that many questions left. And then the sun should not take that much longer. And then the people, that's all we have
All right.
in terms of witnesses.
Well, you've disclosed in substance what the testimony was going to be, so there is no surprise. And the fact that it's going to be documented by law enforcement, I don't think that, and provided, I don't think that's going to delay things. So we'll call the jurors in now.
Still under.
All right, you can once again take the stand. Officer Gonzalez, the jurors are all returned to the courtroom. You all had a nice lunch.
Thank you.
All right. Did you have any additional questions, Mr. Norby?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
And do you have redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Okay, thank you. So Officer Gonzalez, did you make an arrest after speaking with the defendant?
Yes,
And what did you base your arrest off of?
off of both statements, injuries, and kind of everything combined.
And were the defendant's Miranda rights read to him?
Yes,
Okay. And did the defendant indicate that he understood his Miranda rights?
yes,
When
Hang
you
on.
were speaking with the defendant,
Hang on for just a second. I just want to make sure they don't need to confer.
Yeah, Your Honor, we're fine.
All right, you may proceed.
so when you were originally speaking with the defendant, were you the only officer present?
yes,
And once you arrested the defendant, were there other officers present?
yes,
And why was that?
just for safety.
And is that protocol for
Yes.
Oakdale Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that protocol? If you can
It's
just
in
describe it.
safety for the subject and for the officers. So just in case allegations of misconduct and or he becomes physical and it becomes a safety issue for us.
Okay. So, did the defendant describe to you how he injured the victim?
Yes, and he had stated that he grabbed her hair, turned her around to get her attention because he was trying to talk with her. She was ignoring him. At that point, he moved her face, lunged his, and tried to get her attention and said, "Hey, I'm talking to you." He said at that point, that's when the headlamp hit her head.
No further questions.
any recross?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. Officer Gonzalez, you didn't read his Miranda rights to him when you arrested him, before you arrested him, correct?
I'm sorry?
You did not read his Miranda
Not
rights to
before.
him.
No.
Let me rephrase. At the time that you arrested him, by the time that you were arresting him, you did not read his Miranda rights to him and then show that he understood it, did you?
Okay, let me clarify. So when he arrived, he was not in custody. He was free to leave at any time. We spoke without him in handcuffs. At that point, when I determined there was elements of crime completed, I placed him under arrest, put him in a holding cell, read him his Miranda rights, and then reconvened into his statement.
You're
It
not
was on the video.
You're not bilingual, correct?
I am.
So given that you're bilingual,
Mhm.
you did not ensure that my client understood his Miranda rights, explaining that in Spanish to him, correct?
And relevance, what is?
Overruled.
So when I read him his Miranda rights, I asked him if he understood. Being able that we have had a solid, good 10 to 15-minute conversation prior.
Officer Gonzalez, you've had a lot of experience as a cop. When you read the Miranda rights in English, you did not ensure that he understood the meaning of the words. This is very serious. Those are very serious words. You did not ensure that he understood that in Spanish, did you?
Sir, having a conversation with him and asking him multiple questions, not along with just Miranda rights, but about the incident and everything that came along with it. He was able to not only articulate very well and explain his position, he was also able to have a full conversation with me, which led me to believe through my training and experience that he understands English. Hold on, sir. I'm
Finish up.
Okay. So when I read him his Miranda rights and I asked him if he understood, he has the capability of telling me no. And then at that point, we would have gotten an interpreter to make sure that we read it completely and utterly in Spanish to him.
You're not a body language expert, correct?
Objection,
Body language expert. You are not that, correct?
objection, relevance?
Sustained.
In your statements, you've talked about the fact that he nodded his head, and that to you means that he understood everything. That is not a complete way of assessing if he actually understands you, correct?
You're wrong. That may be a nonverbal, but it is an assumption, right? Because that's typically within everybody that communicates yes and no, and being part of the Hispanic community, this means yes, this means no. There's no difference.
So when the witness was expressing this mean yes, he was nodding up and down. And when he was saying this means no, he was nodding side to side, just so the record's clear about the testimony.
Sounds like the.
Okay,
mayor
I just
swearing
wanted to
every
say
time he
that for the
talks.
record, the witness, the defendant actually did not understand the terms of Miranda, and he did not ensure
Objection,
in Spanish that he understood that.
Let him
Am I
finish.
right?
What is your objection?
there's no objection, that's fine.
Are you asking if I knew he understood?
You've stated in this court that you are bilingual, correct?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
Okay. Since you're bilingual, you did not ensure that my client understood the terms of his Miranda rights in Spanish, did you?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained. He's already answered that exact question.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, I have no further questions for the officer.
Is there any additional direct examination?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness step down?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your responsibilities to testify have now concluded. You can step down at council
Thank you, Your
table. And Ms. Shreve, you may call your next witness.
Every time that lawyer talks, I think he's swearing.
you could start walking up here, this is the witness stand here. Make your way up to the witness stand. Stand about right there and face my clerk. She's going to administer an oath for you. Perfect.
Go ahead and raise your right hand. You solemnly state that the evidence that you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you can have a seat here. Yes, in that chair. And they'll just have you pull it up as close to the microphone as comfortable.
Okay.
You don't have to speak directly into the microphone, but you'll want to pull it down so that it kind of is near the lower part of your face. Perfect, thank you. Now, just pull your chair up as close as comfortable. Looks like you're good. Ms. Sharifi, you may proceed.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Jesus David Covarrubias.
And is your mom Maria Covarrubias?
Yes.
And is your father? Who's your father?
Gerardo Covarrubias.
Do you see your father here today?
Yes.
Where is your father seated?
Right there.
Can you describe something he's wearing?
The gray sweater with blue on the sides.
He's identified the defendant.
Are you nervous?
A little.
Breaks or anything?
I think so, yeah.
So, do you remember what happened back on January 20th, 2023?
Maybe not completely, but yes.
Okay. So, were you at home around 6 p.m.?
Yeah. When it happened, yeah.
Who else was home?
It was my siblings
Siblings?
and my parents.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3.
You're the oldest?
Yes.
You have to take care of them most of the time?
Yeah.
To watch them? Brothers or your sister?
Yeah, brothers and a sister.
I would hate to testify against my parent.
So that day, you were at home with your siblings and your mom and dad?
Yeah.
And where were your parents? What were you doing that day?
In the evening, I think we were just watching TV.
Were you watching TV?
Yes.
Where were your parents?
My mom was inside the house. My dad was in the garage.
What was your mom doing?
I think she was just cleaning,
And what was your dad doing?
working on a car.
At any point did
Yeah.
did you hear the argument?
Not really. Objections, cause for speculation.
Overruled.
You know where the argument was happening?
Yeah, it happened like in right next to the living room where we were at, and then it moved to the room.
When you say next to the living room, is it in the living room, in the garage, in a room? Where was it?
Objections, cause for speculation.
When you rephrase, I'm going to sustain it and you can rephrase your question.
You said next to the living room. Was it in the living room or in another room?
It was like in the living room because the living room's really like close to the kitchen,
Okay.
so there was a little like walk way in the middle, so right there.
And so you heard your parents argument.
Yes.
How did you talk to
I'm not sure. Just like here we go again.
She'll come back to the microphone, don't worry.
like this happened?
Not to this degree.
Not a per se, but almost.
When this argument started?
Objections, leading.
Overruled.
You can answer.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, you can answer.
What was the question again?
Where were your siblings?
They're with us. Yeah.
So your parents were arguing around the living room area. Did they go anywhere else?
Yes, they moved into their room, so we didn't hear them
Whose room did they go into?
into their room.
And do you know if the door closed or open?
They closed and locked it.
How do you know that the door was locked?
Yeah, I heard the clink on the.
So it's not a pro se case. All right. He has a lawyer. But his lawyer is a mess. Hi, Rome. Hi, Muse. Hi, Samson. His lawyer is a mess. And him and the other lawyer keep objecting constantly. That's all they do is object. And his objections make absolutely no sense. And her objections do. So it's just bad. And she'll come back to the microphone. The lawyer keeps walking away from the microphone and coming back, but it's not like that the whole time. It's just like that right now. It's terrible.
Block.
Usually in your house, can you hear somebody in another room even when the door is closed?
Yeah, we have pretty thin walls.
So you can hear things.
Yeah.
Objection. Leading.
Overall,
It was like muffled, but you still hear.
Okay. And you and your siblings. So this room that they went into, your parents, where is it compared to where you were in the living room?
It was like the living room right here, and it's in front.
It's in front.
Yeah, so it's like the front of the house. That's the room, and then when you come in through this door, it's the living room.
So let's.
and just for the record, the witness used his hands to describe some of the where the rooms were in relation to each other. I didn't catch all that, and it would be very difficult for me to describe it. So if it's important for you, then you'll need to lay that record.
Can you see the door to that bedroom that your parents were in from the living room?
Yes.
So you can, just like how you can see court door, just like that.
Objections. Leading. Lack of foundation.
Overall,
It was similar, a little to the side, but you can see it.
You can see the door. Did you hear it?
Well, I mean, I hear them arguing, but I can't hear what's going on, like why.
Did you hear more of your mom or your dad?
Objection. Cause for speculation.
overruled.
This is neither a jury trial or a bench trial. This is just a hearing right now before the trial. I believe. I don't think this is the trial yet. They're just trying to hammer out some stuff right now. And the lawyers, it's about to get way better. So if you missed it up until now, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. It gets real good.
More for my dad.
Did you hear anything from
Yeah. I'm not sure, they were just arguing.
but you heard his voice?
Yes.
Was it loud, screaming, yelling?
Yeah, it was also yelling.
Did you ever try to go into that room?
At some point, yes.
Why? Why did you try?
It's because my siblings were crying. No. I'm not sure. I'm just used to it, I guess.
Have you tried to go into the room?
I think she's moving away
Yeah,
from
so
the microphone.
I was trying to make
Tick
them
me
like
off.
stop so my siblings can calm down.
How did you try to get into it?
I was just knocking on the door, telling them to calm down. At some point, yes. It was my dad.
Did you say anything to your dad?
I don't. Oh, I just kind of told him to like calm down a little.
Telling
I
people to
don't
calm
really
down
remember.
always works.
Not instantly, no.
So did you actually go into the room or were you outside of the room, the door,
I was outside the whole time.
the whole time? Okay. Did you try to go into the room at all?
No.
Afraid of your dad?
Objections, relevance.
What is the relevance? Well, forget it. I'm gonna just sustain that objection.
Uh,
How were you feeling?
He got one in. He got one in.
I'm not sure. I don't really know how to answer.
How were you?
The growling
Uh,
feedback is
What
scary.
was the question again?
Like a serial killer's coming.
How did you feel?
I feel.
Objection, relevance.
Sustain. You don't have to answer that.
Yeah, okay.
So, told your dad to stop arguing. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so I calm down a little. Yes.
He did.
And he nodded in the affirmative. Was that a yes?
Yes.
So, your dad stopped arguing.
Mhm.
And that's a yes also? I
Yes.
think you said but that means yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. After that, where did you go?
I went over to my siblings' room where everyone was now.
So, when you say everybody was now, who was in that room?
It was my mom and my 3 siblings.
And your mom, what did you see your mom's face at all?
Not until later. No, I wasn't paying attention.
So when you went into that room, was the door still, you went into your room or your brother's room?
Yeah, our room.
Yeah. Okay. So when you went into that room, did you close the door?
Not me, but my siblings. Yeah,
Was the door locked or unlocked?
it was locked.
Why did you lock the door?
I'm not sure. I think my mom told them to lock it.
Did your dad try to come into the room?
Objections,
Pardon?
lack of foundation.
I'm going to defer ruling on that objection to see what the additional questions are.
What was the question again?
Your dad tried to come into the room.
Oh, not really come in. He was trying to get my mom to come out.
How do you know?
He was telling her to come out.
I'll overrule the objection.
Was it yelling it or saying it?
I don't remember.
Did your mom leave?
But,
After that?
no.
Did you leave the room?
She does come back and sit down, and we can hear her fine when it gets real good.
I'm not sure.
So I continue to be behind the door.
Objections, calls for speculation.
Overruled.
No, not really.
Is there anything while you were in the room?
Oh, yeah. I'm just hearing some stuff. Like
That was a little mad. Yeah.
Hearing stuff. Voices or things broken, word closing, what did you hear?
I heard a couple things get thrown around.
Was your dad still
No, not at the moment. I don't think so.
when did you leave?
When everything got quiet outside.
Not quiet.
Yeah.
Was your dad still in the house when everything got quiet?
No. Yes, at that point I had already seen her.
No, it's not easy. Tell me what you saw.
Yeah, she was crying, had a little something on her head. Yes.
Mom had that blood on her earlier in the day when your parents were arguing about the living grandparents.
No, I don't think so. Not to this degree.
Police have to
In this one, yes.
other times.
Objections. Relevance.
Pardon me?
Relevance.
Overruled.
No. Objections. Assumes fact, not in evidence.
Well, I'm going to sustain it on different grounds.
Thank you, Your Honor.
She says that a lot.
Um,
I'm gonna sustain this on different
He
grounds.
starts yelling a little. Depends. I don't know how mad he is. Objection calls for speculation.
Sustain on different grounds.
No, okay.
How are you feeling after
Well, I was a little mad.
that?
Yeah.
Yes, it's California. Don't make me say it again. I mean this city because I'm really bad at it. It is.
Oh,
Here we go.
I'm not completely sure.
Stanislaus, California. I did the best I could. Don't worry. I'm gonna get a bunch of
All right.
comments tomorrow about how
I want to see
badly I
council in
said
chambers
that.
very quickly. And if we need to take a break, we can. You just have to tell me, give me the word. All right, Mr. Norby. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for being here, Mr. Covarrubias. I know these are very hard circumstances because this case involves both of your parents. I know how you feel, so just take it easy. And if at any time you want to break, just let me know and I'll stop the questioning, okay? So the first question is, well, you love your mom, correct?
Yes.
And you've always felt that you should be, you've always been protective of her, correct?
Yes.
You said yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And you feel very protective of your siblings too, correct?
Like me protecting them?
Yeah, being protective of them because they are your younger ones,
Yes.
correct? Okay. So let's say in a situation like if there is an incident and you don't really know what happened, you will naturally believe the version that your mom gave to you, correct?
Sorry, what?
Objection?
What is your objection?
Relevance? What calls for speculation? What is, well, it's
Sustained.
Yeah, and I can actually, if I may, I can go into the reason for the questions that I asked you.
I don't need you to do that. You can rephrase the question or ask it in a different way, and I'll rule on whatever objections are made, if there are any.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So just hypothetically, if something happens typically in your house and you're not aware of the incident and how it went down, you will typically and naturally take the position of your mom, correct?
objection, facts, not into evidence. This is speculation. There's no.
Sustained.
You also feel that your dad can be hard on you sometimes, correct?
Objection, argumentative, and speculation.
Overruled. You can answer that if you feel like you can.
Okay. What was the question again?
You generally feel that your dad can be hard on you sometimes, correct?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, you understand that he loves you, correct?
Is there,
Your mom is always loving and nurturing to you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You consider your dad, just generally, you consider your dad a peaceful man, right?
Generally, yeah.
Is that a yes or no?
you said yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You meant yes with that, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a yes. Thank you. But just generally, you do or say anything to protect your mom, correct?
Objection, relevance.
It's overruled. You can answer that if it's true.
I'm not sure.
At this time, I mean, I understand your situation, but it has to be a yes or no because it's two parents that are involved. You would do or say anything to protect your mom, whom you love, correct?
To protect her, yes, I guess.
Thank you very much for that answer. Your dad works too much sometimes and does not spend a lot of time with you, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, yes, it has to be like.
Yes.
Okay, so he works a lot and sometimes doesn't spend as much time as you would love him to spend with you, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you. Typically, most of the times, at least in your house, your dad is usually the one that doesn't want the kids to witness him arguing with your mom, correct?
It's both.
It's both. Somebody, when your mom raises her voice and gets in his face, he's the one that usually tells you guys to go to your rooms, correct?
Speculation. There's no.
Overruled.
I'm not sure. I don't really know.
Okay. Let me ask the question in a very different way because I mean this is your home, and of course this is information, something that you have personal knowledge of. Your father, who is sitting here, typically doesn't like the kids to witness him arguing with your mother, and he's typically the person that tells you guys to go to your room, correct?
Recently, yes.
Thank you. And you can understand the reason why he does that. He doesn't really want you guys to witness that kind of conversation, that kind of abusive interaction between you and your mom, correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much. No further questions.
Any redirect?
Yes.
He did a bang up job. A bang up job.
You know. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
At any point.
Oh, yeah.
She's just trying to annoy us, guys. There's no other way to describe it.
And do you have any recross?
No, Your Honor, the defense rests.
Shall this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And it's Jesus, right?
Yes.
Would you prefer Mr. Covarrubias or Jesus?
Jesus.
All right, Jesus, you no longer need to testify. You're excused.
Oh.
So go about your day. Thank you for being here.
Oh, the dad's mad at the son now. What do you think? Exactly, Rome. Exactly. The judge gets on them both.
All right, Ms. Sharifi, any additional witnesses or evidence?
No, Your Honor, the people rest.
All right, I think we're going to take a quick break. This will be our afternoon break, and then we'll resume in about 20 minutes. That will put us back, if you outside department for a quarter, we'll say 2:45. Gives a little more than 20 minutes. That separation admonishment that I've given you a number of times still applies. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody and all the other aspects of that separation admonishment. We'll see back at 2:45.
Okay, now we get into the nuts and bolts. So they're going to go over jury instructions here. It's all we're going to do today is go over jury instructions. And this is where everything goes sideways, upside down. It's terrible.
First of all, to part of the courtroom, the parties are still present. I just want to summarize the chamber's discussion that we had. Between the direct examination and the cross-examination of Jesus, I asked to see counsel and chambers. The purpose for that was to let Mr. Nwobi know that he could ask not only cross-examination questions, but any direct examinations that he would have had, direct examination questions that he would have had of that same witness, because Jesus was on the witness list of both parties. And Mr. Nwobi indicated that's fine. He's not going to need to recall him or anything for his case in chief, and he'll just handle it with cross-examination. And then the second thing that we talked about was Mr. Nwobi asked if the court would take a break before he puts on his case in chief, so that it would enable him to speak with his clients a little bit more. So that's the purpose of breaking right now. And so that'll give you a few more minutes to discuss the testimony if your client decides to testify, Mr. Norobi. And then you can present your case in chief at 2:45 when we return back to court. Does anybody want to add anything to that summation of our off-the-record discussion?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you all back at 2:45.
Okay.
And
now
Mr.
please
Norobi,
sign
did
this
you
stamp.
wish to present a case in chief?
Oh, you wanna, at this time, I wanna call the defendant to testify as a witness.
All right, Mr. Covarrubias, we're going to have you come up here just like all the other witnesses and be sworn. And Madam Interpreter, are you going to relocate? Do you need a chair nearby or something?
State or constitute perjury, that the testimony shall give this matter with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
And you can have a seat here. Seated. I mean, I knew you were coming, but say hello. All right, you'll just pull your chair up as close to the microphone as comfortable. And you may proceed, Mr. Norobi.
Yeah, so Mr. Covarrubias, thank you for being here under those difficult circumstances. Did you hear what I said? See, oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a difficult circumstance. I mean, you should agree with that, right? See,
Yes.
okay, no problem. Okay, so how long were you married?
Para ahora, como 17 años.
Now 17 years.
Okay. How many kids did you have together with the accuser?
4.
4.
Are you able to give us like the ages?
Sí, Jesús David el mayor tiene 16.
Yes. David, the oldest, is 16.
Alan Moisés tiene 12.
Adan Moises is 12. What is it?
Alan,
Alan.
How do you spell that?
ALAN.
That's the second.
Sí.
Yes.
Catherine Alondra tiene 8.
Caterina Londra is 8.
Do you need the spelling? Can you provide the spelling, please?
K A T H. English? English? That spelling?
It probably just Spanish is fine.
Okay. K A T H E R I N E.
Katherine.
And the way that you feel about your children, you love them to death, right?
Sí.
Yes.
And you will do anything to keep your family together, right?
Sí, por eso estoy aquí.
Yes, that's why I'm here.
Thank you. Have you ever hit your wife before?
No.
No.
Have you had any prior convictions before?
Objection.
The objection is sustained.
Okay. Is she objecting to whether he has prior convictions?
That was the objection and it's sustained.
Okay. Okay, let me rephrase this. Has any other woman in the past accused you of hitting her before? Any other woman, not Miss Covarrubias?
No.
No.
Thank you. some of your family members and your friends, they know about Ms. Covarrubias's temper, right?
Relevant.
Sustained.
Okay.
Oh,
Mr.
it's on different grounds, but it's sustained.
Mr. Covarrubias, can you describe, having known your wife for 17 years, can you describe her temperament?
Objection, relevance, or and speculation.
Overruled.
Ella, ella padece de celos extremos.
She suffers from extreme jealousy.
Ella es capaz de celarme solo porque estoy viendo la televisión.
She can be jealous even if I'm just looking at the television.
Siempre está buscándome pruebas de infidelidad.
She's always trying to find proof of
Mm.
infidelity.
Es como si fuera una persona bipolar. Está bien y de repente nomás viene y empieza a buscarme pruebas de infidelidad. Es lo que hace.
It's like she's a bipolar person. One moment she's fine, and then the other moment she's trying to find proof of infidelity.
Eso ha sido en todo el matrimonio.
That has happened throughout the entire marriage.
Al principio era peor. A los 4 meses yo ya la iba a dejar, pero salió embarazada.
At the beginning.
What is your objection?
Narrative.
Okay, sustained. Next question.
Typically, give us what would you normally do in the times that she gets into a rage and starts screaming at you? What do you normally do to cool down the situation?
Yo siempre le digo que no esté peleando enfrente de los niños y que por favor se calme porque yo no le hago nada.
I always tell her to not be fighting in front of the kids and to calm down because I
No.
don't do anything.
You throw ice cream at her.
And in some of the instances, you typically get out of the house so that you can calm down, right?
Desde que mi niño el mayor empezó a meterse en nuestros problemas, yo soy normalmente el que me salgo de la casa. Yo
Ever since,
evado la escena.
ever since my oldest child started getting involved in our fights, I'm the one that leaves the house.
Yes, and yeah, that's a very commendable thing to do as a father. So, and when this happens, even if it's just the two of you, she gets in your face most of the times, right?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
You gently hand her ice cream.
Sí.
You can't answer that since I sustained the objection.
Okay.
Can you describe the nature of the arguments that you have with your wife typically?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained. You can talk about this incident, but
On the day, the incident on the date, the particular day when the thing happened, you went out to fix your car, right?
Objection, leading.
sustained.
What happened on the day of the incident?
Ok. Yo tengo un carro que lo quiero arreglar para que pase smog, venderlo.
Okay, I have a car and I want to fix it so it can pass the smog and I can sell it.
Estaba trabajando en el garage y
Working in the garage and
luego ella llegó gritándome.
she got there yelling.
Pero no era como normalmente ella siempre está alegándome.
But it wasn't like she normally comes and yells at me.
Esta vez
Narrative.
era.
Sustained. That's your next question.
It doesn't have to be long, but it would just help the court if you can give us a picture of how she behaved on that day in the garage and how you guys ended up in the bedroom.
Objection, compound, and vague.
It's sustained.
Okay. What did she do when you were in the garage?
Me estaba gritando que le dijera si la estaba engañando.
She was yelling at me to tell her if I was cheating on her.
Were you cheating on her?
No.
No,
The lady involved is supposed to be who? Who is the lady involved?
Ella es mi manager en el trabajo donde yo estaba.
She is my manager at the job I had.
Explain, please, to the court how the nature of the work occurs between you and her.
Objection relevant.
Sustained.
Mm,
Are you talking about the communication?
Yes.
Then you ask that question, but the nature of the work is not relevant.
Okay. The communication, because you have to typically you have to coordinate with her for your work, correct?
Objection.
mm.
It's leaning, it's sustained.
Okay. Describe the communication involved in your work regarding that particular person.
Ok. Ella siempre me daba las órdenes de trabajo y me tenía que explicar qué tenía que hacer en el carro.
She typically gives me the work orders and she had to explain to me what I had to do.
Luego tengo que volver con ella a explicarle lo que encontré.
Then I have to go back to her and explain to her what I found.
Luego vuelve conmigo otra vez para decirme qué es lo que se le va a hacer al carro.
And then she comes back to me to tell me what needs to be done to the car.
Y luego tengo que volver con ella para
Just let him finish this answer. And then,
And then I have to go back to her
para decirle si ya es el trabajo que se necesita, salió algo extra. O sea, todo el tiempo es comunicación con ella todo el día.
to tell her if that's the work that needs to be done or anything extra. So the whole time it's just communication with her.
okay, next question.
Please describe what the police did in the interrogation with you.
Objection. Vague.
Sustained. What do you mean by police did?
Describe your interaction with the police and what happened the first time.
Objection vague.
Sustained.
On the time that you got the first interrogation, when the police asked you questions, describe what happened between you and the officer.
Ok. Me hicieron preguntas
They asked me questions
y luego me arrestaron, pero a mí no me leyeron mis derechos. Mis
They
derechos,
arrested me, but they didn't read me my rights.
mis derechos me los leyeron como 2 o 3 horas después, hasta que ya estaba encerrado en una celda.
My rights were read to me 2 hours later after I was already locked up in a cell.
So what you're basically telling this court is that they did not read your rights until they have already arrested you.
I'm going to have to give an instruction here. It is required for police officers to provide Miranda warnings once an individual is in a custodial interrogation situation. That is when the Miranda warnings are triggered. I feel compelled to give that legal description at this point in time because I believe there may be some confusion. So Miranda warnings are triggered when somebody who is in a custodial situation is interrogated. By that, it means under arrest and not free to go. Those are legal decisions the court needs to make. It's not for you to determine whether or not a Miranda violation occurred. Next question and move on away from that.
What was, how did you interact when you had the 3 officers talk to you? What happened?
No entiendo la pregunta.
I don't understand the question.
There was a time when at some point you interacted with just 1 officer and then later on it was 3 officers. What happened in that interaction?
Ok, cuando el oficial me llamó la primera vez,
When the officer called me the first time,
yo caminé yo fui a la estación de policía
I walked, I went to the police station,
y habían 3 oficiales ahí.
and there were 3 officers there.
Y ahí me arrestaron, pero no me leyeron mis derechos.
And they arrested me there, but they didn't read me my rights.
Después,
Later,
un oficial fue
the officer went
solo a leerme los derechos, como 2 o 3 horas después.
just to read me my rights, like 2 or 3 hours later.
Y después, el mismo
I'm
oficial,
going to sustain the objection based on relevancy grounds.
Your Honor, I mean, I can explain if I may. I don't want to go over
Explain it to me. I understand
Okay.
it.
Because I'm just gonna advise you, as my client, the judge actually explained the law. It has to be custodial interrogation. That's when you're supposed to be giving Miranda rights. So you have to let the court know truthfully what happened regarding the police.
This is just something that should not occur. You just need to ask questions of the witness, just like any other witness. You don't tell them the state of the law or anything like that. You just ask questions. So you just need to ask a question.
What can you tell us about your state of mind today? Your state of mind, yes.
Objection relevant.
I don't know what you mean by that question. I think it's vague, so I'm going to sustain it on that grounds and you can rephrase it.
What can you tell us today in this court about your mental health and physical health?
What objection? That is not relevant.
Sustained. It's not relevant.
Which one is more relevant, mental health or physical, or both? Because I can ask one. So which one are you objecting to?
Both.
Okay. What can you tell us about your job status today?
Objection.
That's
Has been
relevance. The court has ruled. Then that's sustained.
Do you have anything else that's troubling to you about this case that you want to tell the court?
objection that there's no question presented.
You and I just asked a question and she's saying that there's no question presented. If she can actually let me finish a sentence, that would be much appreciated.
You can re-ask the question. You don't have to answer anything. Is there something wrong with the interpreter device?
No.
Okay, go ahead and re-ask the question.
Mr. Covarrubias, what's your status now regarding your job situation?
Objection relevance.
Sustained.
What's your status right now regarding your mental health?
Objection relevance.
Take a
Sustained.
shot every time she says objection.
Okay, at this time, Your Honor, I don't have more questions for Mr. Covarrubias.
Cross-examination.
Yes.
For the record, he put him on the stand and opened him up to cross-examination for absolutely no reason. He got absolutely nothing out of this guy at all that was even a little bit helpful. And now the other lawyer gets to ask him anything.
Mr. Covarrubias, you were called to the police station, correct?
No, no escuché. Sí.
Yes.
And when you went to the police station, you spoke with Officer Gonzalez, who is here today, correct? Oh,
Let me ask a question. Madam Interpreter, is the device working?
It just stop working, right? It's kind of working or working.
So
Ahora sí.
we could try to get a different device, or if you can hear Madam Interpreter,
Ahora ya empezó a trabajar. No
Oh,
sé
you can
cómo.
hear me now.
Ah.
Maybe
Okay.
it's cutting off.
if it starts cutting off again, raise your hand and I'll know what you mean by that.
when you went to the police station on January 20th, 2023, you met with Officer Gonzalez, correct?
No recuerdo su cara.
I don't remember his face.
Okay. The officer that's sitting here next to me, you met with him that day, correct?
Se me hace familiar su cara, pero no recuerdo exactamente quién era.
This looks familiar, but I don't remember exactly who it was.
Okay. But when you went to the police station, you met with one officer, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
The police didn't put you, that officer didn't put you in handcuffs when you got inside the police station, correct?
Totally stuck like Chuck. Totally.
Can you
Totally.
repeat?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. The officer that, when you went to the police station, met with Officer Gonzalez. He did not put handcuffs on you right when you entered the police station, correct?
Justo cuando entré, no. Después de
Right
que
when I came
me...
in, no,
Después.
That's fine.
like after.
And you spoke with Officer Gonzalez in an interrogation room, correct?
No, ellos me hicieron muchas preguntas
No, they asked
afuera de la estación, en el parking lot, si no me equivoco.
in the parking lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so it started in the parking lot, correct?
Sí,
At the police station.
sí.
Okay.
Yes,
And you were allowed to go leave the police station, correct? If you wanted to.
No,
no,
me arrestaron ahí.
they arrested me right there.
Okay. Before you were arrested, you were free to leave, correct?
No entiendo la pregunta.
I don't understand the question.
Okay.
Okay, I have ruled on the issue about the Miranda warnings.
It's
being-
not going
Okay,
into Miranda.
all right, I don't want, that's not relevant to this testimony.
It's not going
Okay.
into Miranda. You say that your wife has extreme jealousy, correct?
Sí,
Yes,
And have you and And when you argue with your wife, when you and your wife argue, you become angry, correct?
Objection, leading.
It's a cross-examination and leading is permitted, so overruled.
Yes.
They didn't teach him that in lawyer school, guys.
¿Cómo tengo que contestar?
do I have to answer?
Yes.
Yes.
¿Me la repite?
Can you repeat it?
When you and your wife argue, you get angry, correct?
No siempre.
No, no.
Ella es capaz de molestarme por toda la semana.
She's able, she can just bother me all week.
Y a veces la ignoro, a veces me salgo, a veces me encierro en el cuarto a ver la televisión. Pero
Sometimes
ella
I
es-
ignore her, sometimes I leave, sometimes I lock myself up in the room to watch TV.
Y ella lo usa todo eso para acusarme más, diciendo que yo hago eso para engañarla.
And she uses that to accuse me and saying that I cheat on her.
He should run instead.
And so when you do get angry, you tend to throw things around in the house, correct?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Overruled, you can answer it.
No siempre. Son raros los casos, pero lo que pasa es que
It's not often.
Okay.
yo yo me...
Okay, I think you've answered it. Next question.
That evening, during this incident, you got angry and threw a bunch of things in the house, correct?
Objections, opposing counsel is badgering the witness.
Overruled.
He's badgering him.
It's just a yes or no.
Sí, pero me gustaría contestar por qué.
Yes, but I'd like to answer why.
When you and your wife were arguing, she accused you of cheating, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. He just said he would like to answer why, and if opposing counsel should allow him to finish the answer to the question.
The question of why is a different question. That's not the question that was asked. The witness is required to respond to the actual question asked. I'm not sure about that objection, but whatever it is, it's overruled.
Yeah, I think it's a problem with the interpreter, because he wanted to answer the question, but he didn't
Wanted to
answer it.
explain himself, and that was not the question that had been posed. Ms.
Okay,
Shrifi,
Okay,
I think that you asked a question that wasn't answered. Could you repeat that? Well, go ahead and ask your next question then.
Okay. That evening, you and your wife had an argument, correct?
No fue realmente una discusión.
An
Ella,
argument.
ella me estaba atacando tenía un ataque de celos ese día
She was
y
attacking me.
fueron 4 ataques de celos ese día.
The question was, you and your wife,
I didn't finish interpreting.
oh, I'm sorry.
She was having a jealousy attack and there were 4 jealousy attacks that day.
Your wife accused you of cheating, correct? That day.
Sí,
Yes.
And when she accused you of cheating, you laughed at her, correct?
Objection. Relevance.
Overruled.
no, yo nunca me reí. Yo estaba trabajando.
I was working.
Is this a good time to switch interpreters? Okay. And are you Mr. Tim Hyatt?
Yes.
And Mr. Hyatt is now going to provide interpreter services to Mr. Covarrubias. Mr. Hyatt is a certified court interpreter. And I'll wait until you get situated before I proceed.
I'm ready.
¿Puedo terminar la respuesta?
Hang on just a second. Mr. Hyatt is a certified court interpreter. His certification number is 542-98185. Is that the correct number?
That is
It's
correct.
a lot more digits than I used to say. Anyhow, Mr. Hyatt has an oath on file with our court. And you may proceed with your next question, Ms. Sharifi.
Siguiente pregunta.
Todavía no termino mi
I haven't
respuesta.
finished my answer yet.
Go ahead and ask your next question.
When, so you were here for the testimony of your wife, correct?
Sí,
Yes.
And in her testimony, she indicated that when she asked you about infidelity, you laughed. Correct.
no.
No.
No, yo no me reí.
No, I did not laugh.
Okay. When Ms. Covarrubias left the garage, you followed her, correct?
Sí,
Yes.
And when you followed her, you were wearing a headlamp on your forehead, correct?
sí, yo traía mi lámpara porque el garaje está muy oscuro.
Yes, I had my lamp on because the garage was very dark.
And when you followed Ms. Covarrubias to the bedroom, you locked the door to the bedroom, correct?
Objection. Lack of foundation.
Overruled.
Sí, porque no quería que mis niños se envolvieran o escucharan algo.
Yes, because I didn't want my children to get involved or to hear something.
And when you approached Ms. Covarrubias, you pulled her hair, correct?
Objection. That's not in evidence.
Overruled.
No, no fue del cabello. Si me dejan explicar, les puedo decir cómo.
No,
It's-
it wasn't by the hair. If you allow me to explain, I'll tell you how.
It's a yes or no question. So did you, when you approached Ms. Covarrubias, did you pull her hair?
No,
No,
When you spoke with the officer and watched the body cam, you showed that you pulled her hair. Is that correct?
no.
no.
I have explanation for that video. If you allow me to explain, because the answer is not yes, it's no. Even if you saw it,
Okay.
I think it would be, because you're using an interpreter here, and for the sake of a consistent record, Mr. Covarrubias,
I'm sorry, se me olvidó.
it's best just to use the interpreter or not. If you don't need an interpreter, then we will tell Mr.
Lo
Hyatt
siento,
the
se me
services are
olvida,
not necessary.
se me olvida porque todos los días trabajo con español e inglés.
I'm sorry, I forget because I work with Spanish and English every day.
That's fine.
No,
Have to apologize.
Your Honor, if I may, I would prefer, it's in Mr. Covarrubias's best interest that opposing counsel actually exercise some patience and allow him to get his word out using the interpreter. That's all I ask for him.
I'm unclear about your request. Are you saying that you would prefer that Mr. Covarrubias utilize an interpreter?
Yes, he can utilize the interpreter, but his due process rights are at stake
And
here.
I just asked a simple question.
Yes,
Is that
Your
what
Honor.
you're asking me, is to
Yes.
have the interpreter here to interpret for your client?
Yes, but opposing counsel
Stop
can let him
talking,
finish.
just say yes
Yes, Your Honor.
or no.
So yes.
Mr. Hart, we will still need your services. Thank you. Your next question, Ms. Sharifi.
When you pulled Ms. Covarrubias's hair, you spun her around, correct?
Pues nunca la jalé del cabello.
I never pulled.
Y sí la hice que volteara hacia mí.
And I did make her turn around toward me.
It's a, okay. And when you made her turn around is because she wasn't paying attention to you, correct?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And she was ignoring you, correct?
Sí, cuando ella tiene. Ajá, sí.
Yes, when she, yes.
So once you spun her around, you were still wearing your headlamp, correct?
Sí.
Yes,
And when you spun her, you hit her on the forehead, correct?
Objection. Relevance.
Yo no la golpeé.
You were wearing your headlamp, correct?
no.
Sí, pero yo no la golpeé.
Yes, but I did not hit her.
Was Ms. Covarrubias bleeding when you came into the room?
Objection. Objection. Cause for speculation.
Overruled.
No.
No,
Did Ms. Covarrubias have a gash when you came into the room on her forehead?
no,
When you spun Ms. Covarrubias around by the hair, did
Objection.
you,
She's not finished with the question. Finish the question and then I'll see if you have an objection.
you spun Ms. Covarrubias by the hair? Was she bleeding at that time?
No.
no.
And was there a gash on her forehead when you spun her around?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Overruled.
No.
No,
So when you spun her around, you headbutted her on the forehead, correct?
Objection. Lack of foundation. Calls for speculation.
Overruled.
Yo no le pegué.
I didn't hit her.
So after you spun her around, there was blood
Yes,
afterwards, correct?
Solo una gota.
just a drop.
Just a drop. And I think I need my exhibits.
All objections.
Your Honor, may I?
What are you approaching with,
Oh,
just for the
People's
record?
Exhibit, People's Exhibit 2.
Yes, you may.
Okay. Your Covarrubias. This is your wife, correct?
Sí.
Yes,
Okay. And that's blood on her forehead, correct?
Sí.
yes.
Is that a drop of blood on her forehead?
¿Estaba usted ahí al momento del golpe?
Were you there at the moment of the blow?
That is-
¿Sabe qué pasa con la sangre cuando corre?
Stand back. And you have an objection?
No.
No, hang on, not you. You don't object. Do you have an objection?
I do, Your Honor. There's. Defendant is questioning.
Everybody
Okay,
has an
so
objection.
Mr. Covarrubias, you just have to, may seem uncomfortable for you. You just have to answer the questions that are asked of you. You can't just decide what information you want to share because you're like every other witness and they just answer questions that are asked. Okay. Did you want to repeat your question or do you want to move on?
I'm gonna.
Your objections.
What is your objection,
Well,
Mr.?
the picture has already been seen by the members of the jury. So at this time, in the interest of justice and for judicial economy, we do not have to keep repeatedly showing the picture. Opposing counsel can move on with another question.
Overruled. Go ahead and ask your question.
Mr. Covarrubias. This is just a drop of blood?
Yo no sé.
I don't know.
And this is your wife, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
And she looked like this after you spun her around, correct?
No.
No.
So when did she look like this?
Yo no sé. Yo hasta ahorita la estoy viendo así.
I don't know. I haven't seen her like that until right now.
So it is your testimony here today under oath that you did not cause this, correct?
No.
No.
People are going to try and
You may.
This is your wife, correct?
Sí.
Yeah.
And so it's your testimony again that from this picture, you did not cause this.
La lámpara que traía puesta.
The lamp that I had on.
The lamp that you had on.
Y fue la que causó eso. No fui yo. Yo no la golpeé.
Is what caused that, not me. I didn't hit her.
Okay. So you were wearing the lamp, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
So you physically, you with your hands did not hit her, correct?
Eso no fue lo que
Objection.
That's not what you asked.
Vague.
No.
What is your objection?
Another question, she asked a vague question. It wasn't clear.
Overruled. And you can just answer the question, sir.
Can she repeat?
Yes.
I can. You did not hit the victim with your hands, correct?
No.
No.
You hit the victim with your head, correct?
Yo no la golpeé. Fue un accidente al momento del giro.
I did not hit her. It was an accident at the moment of spinning around.
You spun her around and you were wearing the headlamp, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
You were mad because she was not listening to you, correct?
Objection. You know, if I may, I think at this time we can take the pictures down because it's more prejudicial than probative.
I'm not sure that Ms. Reefy's done. Are you done with using these pictures in your examination of this witness?
Don't know.
Just, it's not going to be there for very much longer. I think we're close to being done.
When you spun victim around, the headlamp hit her forehead, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
And you spun her around because you were angry at her, correct?
No, yo estaba reclamándole.
No, I was demanding from her an answer.
So because she was not listening to you, you spun her around, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
And you never apologized for what you did to her, correct?
Objection. Relevance.
Overruled.
Mi hijo no me dio oportunidad de hacerlo porque mi hijo, cuando mi hijo se mete en nuestros problemas, yo inmediatamente salgo de la casa, salgo de la escena.
My son did not give me a chance
because when my son gets involved in our problems, I leave the house immediately.
You had all the time to say I'm sorry, correct?
Objection, relevant.
Overruled.
No,
No,
yo no tuve tiempo.
I did not have time.
So it's your testimony here today that once you spun her around and she got this injury, you didn't have any time to say I'm sorry.
Objection, adding facts not in evidence.
Overruled. It's cross-examination.
No, porque yo entonces yo me enojé conmigo mismo
No, because at that time, I was angry at myself
porque tenía más de un año queriéndola dejar a ella por tantos problemas que me causa con celos.
because I had been wanting to leave her for a year because of all of the problems with her jealousy.
You never get mad at the victim? Do you ever get mad? You get mad at the victim, correct?
Sí, pero no ese día.
Yes, but not that day.
So you left the house after this happened, correct?
Después sí.
Afterwards, yes.
And your wife went into another room with your children, correct?
Objection, relevant, asked and answered.
Overruled.
Siempre que ella me hace escenas de celos, se mete al cuarto y le dice a los niños que si quiere que su papá lo dejen, que su papá se vaya, siempre le llena la cabeza a los niños de
Whenever
ideas.
she makes a scene over jealousy, she goes into the room with the children and she starts talking to them and asking them, do they want to leave their father?
So you have never cheated on your wife?
Objection.
It's succinct.
Have you ever when your wife went into the bedroom with your children, you went after them, correct?
No.
No,
But you heard from the testimony of your son that you tried to go into the other bedroom, correct?
Objection, cause for speculation.
Overruled. Overruled.
Yes.
You can answer the
Or
question.
no question?
Did you answer it? I'm sure I didn't hear it.
No, no.
no.
¿Puedo repetirla?
Can you repeat it?
You heard your son's testimony that he testified that you tried to go into the other room where they were, correct?
¿Puedo explicar?
Can I explain?
I'm gonna get him
You
later.
just have to, you may want to explain, but that's just not how this works. You're a witness like everybody else. You just have to answer the questions.
Your Honor, if I may, the question is
Entonces no quiero
actually
contestar porque
complicated.
no es sí, no es no.
Okay,
Then I don't want to answer because it's not yes and it's not no.
The opposing counsel is asking him to recall and actually
what
replay
is your objection?
Yes.
And don't have a
compound
speaker.
question. Vague.
Overruled. Just repeat the question, would you, Ms. Sharifi?
Mr. Covarrubias, when you were here for your son's testimony, he said that you did try to go to the other room where your children and your wife were, correct? Yes or no?
Yo solo fui para despedirme.
I just went to say goodbye.
The question was whether you heard your son testify.
La pregunta es si usted oyó a su hijo declarar eso.
Sí, yo lo escuché.
Yes, I heard him.
Okay, next question.
And after this incident, you started to throw things around the house, correct?
Quitar cosas alrededor de la casa.
En algún punto, sí.
At a certain point, yes.
Quiero explicar eso.
I want to explain that.
You just have to answer the questions that are posed to you by the two attorneys that are sitting there.
So those are yes.
And this is not the first time that something like this has happened, correct?
Yes.
Objection, relevance.
Sustained on different grounds, it's vague.
This is not the first time that you have told, you heard your wife's testimony today, correct?
See,
Yes.
And you heard your wife say that you have pulled her hair before in the past, correct?
Sí, yo escuché.
Yes, I heard that.
Okay. And so have you pulled your wife's hair? Have you done a similar situation in the past like this?
objection, relevance, lack of foundation.
Overruled.
No así.
No, not like this.
No further questions here.
Redirect.
Sorry, correction, Your Honor.
Sure.
That response could either be no, not like this, or no, not like that. It's either one. The word can mean either this or
All
that,
right.
so I'm not sure.
All right, thank you for that explanation. Mr. Norby, do you have redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
So,
Okay. Can he do anything to make it better? No. Can he do anything to make it worse? Oh, yeah.
when you had your first interaction with the police, did you feel free to leave?
I have already ruled that the issue of a Miranda is up for the court. It's a legal decision for the court, and it's not for the jury to hear. It's not relevant. So that ruling has been made. I've instructed the jury about that to avoid confusion that they may have as to that issue.
Okay, Your Honor, if I may, I'm not trying to raise the issue of Miranda. I'm
Okay.
just trying to talk about,
Voluntariness,
yes, his understanding of whether he was free to leave. We're not talking about whether he was arrested or not. When he was with the police, did he feel free to leave?
so how is that relevant?
It is relevant.
Explanation, brief.
Yes, it is relevant to when it comes to what he felt, because if you're in, okay,
All right,
let me just
let's-
hypothetical.
Let's do this. I'm not going to have hypotheticals here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take just a quick stretching break for you. That just means you're going to step outside for probably about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to address some legal issues, and then we'll ask you to return back at that time.
You should read them their Miranda rights before you go into this, Judge. And then object to them. Just say objection to all of them.
And Debbie Sellers, Mr. Coverty was going to stay here as far as I'm concerned. Are you okay with that? Okay. The jurors have all departed the courtroom. You know, this issue of Miranda has really gotten out of hand. I allowed some limited questions on cross-examination because it did come up in the transcript. And there was some evidence that was adduced by the people as to the Miranda warnings given. And so I allowed some cross-examination on that because it's fair to do so. But any notion that there is a Miranda violation is not relevant for these jurors to consider. And so I've instructed them that it is not relevant for these proceedings. It remains irrelevant for these proceedings. Are you trying to suggest to me through your examination or to that it's relevant to ask whether he felt free to leave because he gave erroneous answers?
No, Your Honor. The thing was like listening to the officer's testimony. He felt that his Miranda were not read to him until after 2 or 3 hours.
Doesn't matter. It's not his determination to make.
Okay, it's illegal. Okay, yeah, but for the purposes of just when they were together, for instance, the officer was saying that he was free to leave, but the fact was that he did not feel free to leave.
Not relevant for this proceeding. Tell me why it's not relevant for that issue. Tell me how it's relevant.
It is relevant because he did not feel like he was free to leave. And that's the point where he didn't feel free to leave. For the purposes of Miranda, he was under arrest
Okay.
constructively, even without handcuffs.
If you were trying to suggest to me that some of his answers were given out of fear because he couldn't leave and they're somehow erroneous or a product of intimidation, that would be one. Okay, tell me what answers were erroneous or a product of intimidation.
No, even like the way that he was trying to talk about, I spun her around, all that stuff. No, he was basically trying to express that he wanted to talk to her, make her face him. And then he's using those words that he did not understand. There was language barrier. He couldn't speak Spanish very well, and he was scared. If he was scared in that way, he did not feel free to leave. For the purposes of anything else, like Miranda, he was incarcerated at that point without his Miranda rights being read to
So
him.
without a motion and limiting on the issue, you're suggesting now, Mr. Nwobi, without having raised this Miranda violation issue earlier at any stage, that I should just permit the jury to infer that there was a Miranda violation. When in fact, that is not the situation here and is not the law. It is not their judgment to make either. That is a legal decision for the court to make.
Okay, I agree. And I was just saying that that's a new development. That's something that we didn't know before. And, following the things that he was saying, it just all came out. The police can actually not prove that they did what they were supposed to do when it comes to reading him his rights. They didn't do it at the right time. He was, for the purpose of the whole thing, incarcerated for like 2 hours.
It's a very untimely objection to that testimony. And it's even after the testimony was adduced. So by other witnesses, in addition to Mr. Covarrubias, it is untimely. The court has no evidence that in fact it was a Miranda violation based on the evidence that I have heard. And I'm not permitting any more questions on that. You have confused the jury enough with that line of questioning. So I'll have the jurors return now. Thank you, Deputy Sawyers. And Mr. Nwobi, you may continue with your question.
Yes. So describe what happens in the garage at your house.
Estaba trabajando en el carro
I was working on the car
y ella entró por la puerta del lado de adentro de la casa
and she came in from the door that goes to the inside of the house.
y me empezó a gritar que la estaba engañando
And she started yelling at me that I was cheating on her
con la mujer con la que trabajo, mi manager.
with the woman that I work with, my manager.
Objection narrative.
Okay, sustain. Next question. Mr. Nwobi, just ask another question.
You're not.
Just ask another question. What happened next, for example?
What happened after the garage? After the garage, when you guys left?
Ok. Después de que ella me estuvo gritando en el garage.
After she was yelling at me in the garage,
Yes.
También me acusó de que la estaba engañando con mi exnovia.
she also accused me of cheating with her with my ex-girlfriend.
Que ella está en México y yo no tengo ningún contacto con ella.
But she's in Mexico. I have no contact with her.
Objection, Your Honor,
Después salió ella corriendo hacia la casa.
Afterwards, she took off running to the house.
What is your objection?
he's not answering questions.
It's non-responsive? So sustained on that basis. Next question.
Explain the whole allegation that you throw things sometimes.
Objection based.
I'm confused by the question. Can you rephrase it? I'm sustaining it.
There is an allegation that sometimes you get mad and you throw things in the house, just throw stuff. Can you explain that?
Objection made.
Overruled.
Sí puedo.
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Cuando ella me está molestando por bastante tiempo
When she,
con sus celos,
when she's bothering me for quite a while with her jealousy,
para no tocarla, lastimarla,
in order to avoid touching her or
a veces agarro algo que ella quiere
sometimes I'll grab something that she likes.
y lo tiro al suelo como respuesta de déjenme en paz, por favor.
I'll throw it on the floor in response as if saying, just leave me alone, please.
But you, oh, go ahead.
Ajá.
Just ask another question.
Okay. But you do that as a way of cooling down, correct?
Objection leading.
Sustained.
Do you do certain things in your house because of the escalation?
Objection leading.
It's vague. Sustained.
Okay. Did you pull her hair on that day? No.
No,
Thank you. The fact that she went to the hospital was because of just out of the abundance of caution, right?
Sustained.
Okay. Why do you think your wife wanted to go to the hospital after the little cut on her face?
Objection speculation.
Sustained.
Explain what happened at the hospital regarding your wife.
Objection. Speculation.
Sustained.
Do you think that everything that happened was an accident?
Objection speculation.
Overruled. What do you mean by everything that happened?
Everything that happened on that day. Your Honor, with all due respect to this court, a man's liberty is at stake here, and counsel should actually stop saying objections without having legal basis for objecting. I need the man to explain what happened.
To stop right now, Mr. Norby. No more speaking objections. I have told you over and over and over again not to have speaking objections. I don't know how else to communicate it to you. No more speaking objections, please.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you. Did an accident happen on that day?
Objection made.
Sí, eso fue un accidente.
Overruled.
yes, that was an accident.
Thank you. And if you can you describe the lamp incident and how sharp the thing is?
Objection compound.
Quiero contestar eso.
Sustained. So just ask a different question.
Okay. Can you describe the accident in your own words?
Sí.
Yeah,
Yo entré al cuarto
I went into the room
y ella estaba, no recuerdo si parada en el primero o el segundo escalón.
and she was standing on, I don't remember if it was the first or the second step.
Cuando me miró que venía, se bajó del escalón, se paró enfrente de la puerta.
When she saw me coming, she went down off the step and went over in front of the door.
Mis 4 niños estaban en la sala mirando la televisión.
My 4 children were in the living room watching television.
Entonces, cerré la puerta para que ellos no escucharan nada.
I closed the door so that they wouldn't hear anything.
Entonces yo me paré, la puerta estaba enfrente,
Then I stood, the door's in front.
ella estaba parada justo enfrente de la puerta
She was standing right in front of the door,
y yo estaba parado hacia este lado.
and I was standing over to this side.
Objection narrative.
This-
Sustained. Next question.
The reason for you to prevent your what is the reason why you didn't want your kids to hear the argument?
Porque no es bueno que los niños nos miren discutiendo.
Because it's not good for the children to see us arguing.
Okay, the defense rests, Your Honor.
Do you have additional cross-examination?
Well done, sir. Well done.
No,
Ross?
Your Honor.
Pardon me?
No.
Okay. Mr. Cornelius, the questioning is now concluded. You can have a seat with your attorney at council table.
No, Ms. Hutchins.
Yes, then we'll go ahead and switch interpreters. Ms. Marisol Resendez Garcia is once again going to provide interpreter services to Mr. Covarrubias. Thank you, Mr. Hyatt.
Thank you.
You have additional witnesses or evidence, Mr. Norrie?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Does the defense rest?
Yes, we don't have any witnesses for now.
Defense rests?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a case in rebuttal?
Yes.
And who were you anticipating?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, sorry. No.
No.
No rebuttal. No.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard all the evidence that you're going to hear on this trial. There are legal issues that we need to take up. They involve jury instructions and things like that. Sometimes that can be weighty stuff for us to deal with, and sometimes it takes a while. So I'm going to release you today a little bit early, not that much, but a little bit early. And I'm going to have you return tomorrow. You'll have this case for deliberations. Tomorrow you'll return and you'll hear the opening or closing arguments, and you'll hear the instructions by me. And then I expect that you'll have the case for deliberation sometime in the morning. With that being said, and I know that we have work to do all these instructions, I'm going to have you be in the jury's living room at 9:30 tomorrow. So I don't want you to have to wait down there while we're working. 9:30 will work out best for us, I think. Does that work for you all? Okay, hearing nods in the affirmative. So that separation and admonishment that I've given you, I'm going to give you again. So, stand by. Please remember not to talk about this case or about any of the people or any subject involved in it with anyone, including the other jurors. Do not research, share information, or talk to each other or to anyone else about the facts of the case or anything else connected with the trial. And do not use any form of electronic or wireless communication to do any of those things either. Do not make up your mind or express any opinion about the case or any issue connected with the trial until after you've discussed the case with the other jurors during deliberations, which I expect to begin tomorrow. Thank you for your patience with us and coming in and out of the courtroom. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening.
Need a note for work, I go downstairs and grab one?
Yes, and they'll give you one in the jury's living room. Yes, thank you.
So this part we're about to go to is the only part I really remembered when I said, this isn't in front of the jury, this is just this is just the jury instructions. I forgot about that whole first part, and I just remember this part. Don't worry, I'm getting another trial right now that's great. I hope.
Okay. Jurors have all departed, and I want to talk about instructions now.
That's fine.
And if you have a copy, right, Mr. Nwobi?
Of the instructions?
Yes.
I don't think I have that.
Ms. Sharifi said she gave you a copy yesterday.
Okay, yes.
It's the pack of, it's kind of like
Okay, yes,
this
yes.
without stickies.
I have that, yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna start with, to me, everything looks fine up until 225. So there's 224 and 225. And 225 and 224 for a single count offense are not both necessary. 224 is necessary for general intent crimes. 225 are their specific intent or a different mental state, which is not the situation here. This is a general intent crime. And the lessers are as well. So we do not need 225, but if anybody feels differently about that, please let me know. 225 will not be given. 226 looks fine to me. And if anybody disagrees or has any input, please speak up. 240, causation. Any issue with that, Mr. Norby?
No, yeah.
And then 250, which is union of act and intent, the general intent, that's an instruction that should be given, so I'll give that. Moving forward, I'm now going to talk about 315, which is eyewitness testimony that is not offered by the people. I do not believe eyewitness identification is an issue in this trial. I do not think it's necessary to give, but I thought I would just,
I don't have,
it's not offered, it's not offered.
no,
Two-
Oh, okay.
315 is not in your suggested
okay,
instructions. It's just something I bring up just to make sure
that's fine.
there's no request for it.
No,
So 315, I don't believe is necessary, and I'm not inclined to give it, but I thought I would hear from you if you feel differently.
the people agree.
Okay, 318. 318 is given if the testifying witness has been confronted with a prior inconsistent statement. I don't believe that happened here.
Yes, that didn't happen.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I said it did not happen.
I mean, the defendant does testify, or it comes out body worn camera. What the defendant did, and then when the defendant testified, he negated the actions from the body worn camera.
Here's what I see in the transcript.
Oh, I don't know.
He says, Officer Gonzalez says, with your rights in mind, after I've read you, are you still willing to just talk to me about, so like what, you didn't mean to like hit her in the head, so you just say, I'm trying to figure that out. And then defendant says, I never mean to pull her. Yeah, officer says, and the defendant says, I just grabbed her and turned her around to see me. And then Officer Gonzalez says, where did you grab her at? And he says, just like this. And he's describing that we saw that on the body worn camera. And he says, oh, okay. And I don't think his testimony was any different really from what he, in his verbal testimony, was any different than what he told the officer on that day.
But it was also from the testimony of the officer that the officer indicated that the defendant told him that he pulled the hair, the victim's hair.
Prior to this
Through
body worn
officer-
camera.
Prior to the body worn camera, at one point. the
But did you
officer
confront this? Did you confront Mr.
Sorry,
Cove?
Your Honor, the
I'm
interpreter
sorry.
is having
Oh.
a really hard time keeping up.
Because we're talking too fast. I'm sorry. Because my question is, did you confront Mr. Covarrubias about that statement made to Officer Gonzalez? I don't need you to raise your hand, sir. This is not a time for you to talk.
I do not recall. I recall asking him about the hair pulling. I'm not. I don't want to
If-
make
if
sure
I-
to me, but
If I may, Your Honor, it didn't happen.
Pardon me?
It did not happen. It didn't
What
happen.
didn't happen?
That is, she didn't confront him
Okay.
with that specific part of.
I don't remember I don't think you did, Ms. Sharifi, and so I'm not, if the defense is not asking for 318, I'm not inclined to give it. 355, we do not need to give because the defendant did testify.
yes.
And then 358 is appropriate. 361, failure to explain or deny adverse evidence. I don't think this applies, given his testimony. So I'll hear from you first.
No, this was made up because I believe that the defendant was not going to testify, so some of these may not be appropriate.
Well, this one is if the defendant testified, but in his testimony failed to explain or deny evidence against him, as he reasonably could have been expected to do, then you can consider that failure to explain or deny in evaluating the evidence. I mean, the only thing that comes close is the physical injuries to the forehead, but ultimately he did say that the light caused them. So I don't think it's necessary to get 351. Mr. Norby, do you want? I don't.
Yes, I agree, Your Honor.
361, not 351. Now we're moving into the substantive instructions. And the first is 840. The second one would be 841. And the third one would be 915, the simple assault.
Are they not in here?
They're here.
Oh, okay,
They're just
sorry.
they're just sort of, they're in a different
Oh, I
order.
see. Yes.
But so what I think 840 looks okay, but I want to talk about the bracketed portions because it seems to me the testimony was that they were married, that it wasn't any of the other things. They weren't just cohabitants, they were married. And those are all bracketed. I'm looking at line 17 through 20. I'm looking at 21 through 22, and I'm looking at 23 through 24. Those are all bracketed in the jury instruction. In other words, you give them if the facts call for that definition. I don't think they do. There is no dispute that they are married. And that is the sole, I think, basis of this allegation to apply.
Correct. And when I
Yes,
did
yeah.
make this, I was still unaware of the status between the two.
That-
But
that-
I do agree with you that those portions do not need to be placed in here.
Because
Yes,
Okay, so really it's line 17 through 24.
Correct.
yes.
Now, there is
Say
another
yes.
bracketed
Yes.
section that may need to be here. Oh, okay. Line number 10 and 11. The defendant did not act in self-defense. This is when self-defense is instructed on, and it's an issue here. I see no evidence that the defendant was acting in self-defense. There's just not a shred of it. So, and he didn't even say he was in his own testimony. There's just zero evidence of that. So that shouldn't, item 3, line 10 through 11, which is item 3 of the elements, should not be instructed.
I agree.
All right, so let me take a look at 840 one more time. And you're taking notes, Ms. Ruthie, because I'm going to have you submit new ones
Yes,
tomorrow. Okay.
yeah, I ripped out and yes.
Okay,
I'm crossing them.
okay.
And I see what you mean with 841 as well, with the bracketed portions.
Yes, it's
in
up for
line
all of them.
11. Yes, and so it would be where it says element number 2, it would just be the mother of the defendant's child, cohabitant. I don't, the cohabitant part.
And the last thing I wanted to discuss with, and I'm looking at the instruction itself, the CalCrim 840, it talks about a traumatic condition. It talks about causation of injury. And it says a traumatic condition is the result of an injury if, 1, the traumatic condition was the natural and probable consequence of the injury. 2, the injury was a direct and substantial factor in causing the condition. And 3, the condition would not have happened without the injury. I really don't think that applies here, but I wanted to discuss it with you.
Yes, Your Honor, I agree that it doesn't apply in this case for now.
Ms. Schrieffer, your position?
Sorry, I have to pull up the code.
She's thinking. Your sound is fine. No, I can't hear anything comments. Let the judge think.
I mean, why would it not be considered?
Well, you haven't offered it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
It is. I'm looking at I believe that it should be.
well, why don't you do this? You can think about it and give me two versions of this tomorrow, one with it and one without. And then I'll let you think about it and give me your arguments once again in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
So I think I've talked about 840 as much as I need to. I do not believe there's any evidence of an attempt to inflict a traumatic injury. I'm not going to instruct on attempt. I don't think there's any,
No.
I don't think there's any issue. Do you agree with me on that, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, I totally agree with you. And such instructions were more prejudicial than probative. It's not necessary for the jury at this time. So I agree with you that it shouldn't be done in this case.
Wait, was that real
So
lawyer?
now I'm going to go into simple battery, which is 841. And I believe I need two of these instructions, two 841s, one for the 243E, one for the 242.
That's 242.
So 242 is a lesser included offense. I do not have an instruction on 242.
It's in there. I put it in the back, kind of, sorry.
Oh, maybe I missed it.
Simple battery 242. I just.
Simple assault.
960.
I see. Here it is. Okay.
I have it.
So everything's just a little bit out of order.
Yes,
But
but I'll give you a cleaner version tomorrow.
well, and also what you think the order that should be they instructed on, because those will go before the concluding instructions.
Yeah.
And there's also the instruction that talks about 3516, multiple counts, alternate charges for one event, dual conviction prohibited. So that, I'll look at that in more detail in a minute, but that should probably be given at the beginning of the substantive instructions. But I can take them out of order as need be. All right, so we have 841. I would think you would have to eliminate line 13, which is that the defendant did not act in self-defense.
Mhm.
And then we do not need the further definitions of the term cohabitants.
Correct.
So that needs to be eliminated. It's just not think it's necessary. Really, from line 22 all the way down to the next page, line 22 on.
For element number 2, did you want it the way that it is written, or should I exclude anything?
Well, I think, let me take a look at the instruction. And that's a good question because I didn't look at that. I think it's just spouse. I think you would say that Maria Covarrubias Mejia is the defendant's spouse. And I mean, you could have the rest of it too, because it's or, but spouse needs to be in there.
Okay.
Esposa.
Well, they both indicated that they're married. So
Right.
spouse is fine and nothing more is needed.
That would be fine with me, but if you,
I don't need the rest.
okay, let me see, let me make sure. I think you can get by with just spouse.
Okay.
So then lines 12 through 13 will be eliminated. And then lines 22 through all of the lines on page 3.
Correct.
Thirty-five 16. Let me take a quick look.
I also put in 915.
Pardon me?
915 for simple assault.
I have that. It's just in a different order. We'll go to simple assault and we'll go back to that one.
Okay.
So simple assault, line 15. Looks to me that you would eliminate line 14.
And change it
Mimosa.
to from
Yes,
G
please.
to P on all of them.
I
Yes.
want a mimosa.
And there's no intoxication. That's probably bracketed, but let me double check
there's
that.
intoxication, Judge. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that doesn't need to be there. There's no evidence of any intoxication. Okay, the rest of it looks okay. Now, let's talk about this 242 lesser included, which is 960. And promise will be done soon.
Objection, Your Honor, you're taking way too long.
Same thing here. The and in paragraph 2 should not be given.
His lawyer's just sitting there,
The rest of it looks okay to me. Now,
He's backing up. He's like, I'm done. We're all done. Don't worry.
it seems to me that you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
You guys want me to put on Fleischer now?
243E1
We've had
is a
enough
lesser of
this, right?
273.5A.
Correct.
242 is a lesser of 243E1.
Correct.
240 is a lesser of a 242.
Correct.
So I think your prefatory language should say that. So by that, I mean, in each of your substantive articles, and I'm going to start with the simple battery first. It says the defendant is
No,
charged
matter,
in
it's
count
still
1
ongoing.
with a violation of Penal Code Section 242. That's not really what he's charged with.
It's still ongoing. This is still ongoing. So we don't have the end, but it's not going to go well for him. It's just not. I mean, Colette, there's just gonna be an appeal. So this is his 4th lawyer throughout this whole process. So there's definitely gonna be an appeal. There's definitely. I can't imagine. I mean, and this lawyer knows it. Everybody knows it. All right, let's go with the polka dot Fleischer, just so we all can see him.
Need a translator?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to bring her up?
I want a translator. He's awesome, this translator. Is it the same one? No.
You are Maria Mireles. Ms. Mireles, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, ma'am. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you can't afford one, one will be appointed to you. Please don't say anything, ma'am. Okay.
On August 12, 2023, defendant removed $700 from a cashier and placed it in a small wallet at Foodtown. The plaintiff said that the defendant was a former Foodtown employee. The plaintiff stated he had watched the surveillance video and saw the defendant take the money from the cashier since the new cashier had forgotten to turn in the cashier till and left the money in it. Complainant contacted the defendant and asked if complainant had taken the money. Complainant did not confess to it.
So this is an employee theft then?
It's an employee, a former employee.
Former employee theft, okay. All right, Ms. Mireles, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. You're no longer employed there, I would imagine, correct? Tell me, are you a United States citizen, ma'am? Okay. I'm not putting any conditions on your bond. Be careful, ma'am. Do not pick up any new cases. Otherwise, I will revoke your bond. I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? You have a lawyer. He will help you. You must stay in contact with him. If he comes back to me and tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, likewise, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand? I'll have you go to Victoria. We'll have you sign a receipt. We'll get you out of here, ma'am. Good luck. Thanks.
Somebody get arrested in Texas.
Judge, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
And let the judge know how much we love him.
Aaron White, do you have an arraignment?
Good morning, Judge. I do not. I just have a case that I've signed on since then. And
was it set today for THA?
no, yeah, it was set today for
Channel
THA.
2.
It's Lydia Taft. We've signed on. I emailed on Friday, but I guess it just, we might have done it a little bit too late on Friday.
Okay, so why don't you just get in, email Victoria,
Will do.
a new date.
Okay.
You're good. Is she
Thanks,
here now?
Judge. What's that?
Is she here now?
No, she's not.
Okay, we got
Okay.
you. Just text or chat with her. Okay.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Judge, there's also a co-defendant. You want that too?
Yeah.
Ventura, page 28.
All right. And so you are Castillo.
Yes, sir.
And then there's one more. There's a Bravo. Do we have a Bravo that checked in as well?
No, that one also just secured.
You did? Okay.
So Bravo, Your Honor, was the ABI from last week. He was out on bond for DWI and you revoked.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, I remember. All right, you're Lorenzo Castillo.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. And you are Carlos Ventura. Mr. Ventura, you're also charged with assault, bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You both have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On April 15, 2024, at 5454 Washington Ave, officers were dispatched to an assault in progress, weapons unknown call at Clutch Bar parking lot. Lorenzo Castillo was arguing with an individual in the parking lot. He was detained. Officers were able to detain two other co-defendants, Isaac Bravo and Carlos Ventura, based on witness statements. Complainant one stated that the defendant, Lorenzo Castillo, swung at him first and he defended himself. Co-defendants began beating him up at the same time, but was unable to see how many more suspects were actively beating him up. Complainant one stated he did feel pain and was willing to press charges. Complainant one had major injuries on his face and was checked on scene by HFD, but did not want to get transported. Complainant two knows Lorenzo Castillo. Complainant two stated that the defendant and several other suspects were beating on her boyfriend and she was hugging her boyfriend in an attempt to defend him. Complainant two stated that she was also struck by several punches by a defendant and other suspects. Complainant two had blood on her hands and clothes, but she stated the blood was from her boyfriend's injuries. Complainant two pointed out a bump on her head and stated she felt pain. Witness viewed the defendant and co-defendants assaulting complainant one while trying to separate complainant two from the situation. Defendant Castillo and co-defendant Carlos Ventura went and opened the door to the car and continued to assault complainant one. Witness one stated that the defendant is a family friend and he knows the defendant's aunt. Witness two, who stated that the complainant and him were walking towards Clutch Bar and had a verbal argument with the defendant and co-defendants, but was able to de-escalate the situation. Later on the night, as they were leaving the bar, they ran into the defendant and co-defendant, and that's when the verbal altercation, ultimately the assault occurred.
Okay, so there is someone that views Mr. Ventura assaulting.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to go back to this bar, not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and not to have contact with any of the complaining witnesses in this case, and not to be in possession of any weapons. If you guys violate these conditions, I'm going to put you in jail. I will do everything in my power to protect the public from any kind of hoodlums. If that means putting your butt in jail, I'll do it in a heartbeat. Do you understand?
Sir.
If you pick up any new cases, I'm gonna light both of you up. I would imagine that probably no contact with any of the co-defendants is probably a good idea as well.
Yes, sir.
You will be monitored by pretrial services. Any violations whatsoever, you will be remanded to custody. No more PR bonds, and I will make your bonds sky high. How old are you? How old are you?
33.
What do you guys do for a living? Okay, both of you will be required to hire lawyers. I'm gonna have you go to Victoria. We're gonna have you sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Jeremiah for your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go.
He's supposed to be here. I had one already. I hired one.
Who's your lawyer?
Brian Levine.
Sorry, guys, gotta pause it. It's just so freaking exciting that Colin joined our stream tonight. Thank you. So excited. Thank you. Bye.
Law firm.
See that he's filed any documents. Do you see anything else? So let's do this. I'm going to have you sign the reset, and then we'll just have you take a seat in the juror box, wait for your lawyer to get here. Do you have a lawyer now? We'll give you time. Don't pick up any new cases. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, come on. Castillo.
Rodriguez Garza.
That's better. Okay, what is your name, sir?
Jose Rodriguez Garza.
Is it Jose Arturo Rodriguez Garza?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir. Rodriguez Garza. It's an AFM.
Yes, sir. So this is a DVD case, but I need to be seated. On April 14th, in Prescott, Texas, officers were dispatched to a family disturbance. The officer met with the complainant. Complainant and defendant are married. Complainant and defendant got into a verbal argument. Defendant grabbed complainant's left wrist, causing pain. Defendant then pushed complainant against the wall and held his forearm against her neck, causing pain as well, Your Honor.
No impeding breath?
No impeding breath, Your Honor. And we haven't made contact with the complainant yet.
You have not?
We have not.
Got it. Okay, Mr. Rodriguez Garza, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. You may not have contact unless I know she wants to have contact with you. They haven't had a chance to speak to her, so until that point, no contact. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well. If you violate these conditions, you will go to jail. Number one. Number two, a protective order was issued in this case on the 15th of this month. Get to know it, because if you violate that court order, the state can and will file a violation of a protective order, and that's the capital murder of misdemeanors. You violate these conditions, I can hold you at no bond, and I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Yes, sir.
We will have you go to Victoria. I see that you do have a lawyer. We will get you out of here, but you must stay in contact with Miss Basie, right?
Yes.
She will tell you if and when you have to come back to court. I will waive your appearance so you don't have to waste your time coming back here. But if she comes back to me and tells me she can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, I will issue a warrant.
Yes, sir.
Don't pick up any new cases. Don't violate the conditions and stay in contact with your
Yes, sir, I
lawyer.
will.
Page 10, Zelaya.
Did you see you say that, right?
Yes.
You got it? Okay. Hi, good morning.
I like him saying, how was jail better than stuck like Chuck?
Mr. Uceda Zelaya. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. Please don't say anything.
So, officers were dispatched to an assault in progress. Officers arrived at Oceanaria restaurant and spoke with a security guard who advised that they kicked the defendant out of the restaurant when it was closing. Defendant was intoxicated. Defendant's friend pushed a security officer, but he did not feel pain. The security guard observed the defendant drive away. Officers located a vehicle matching the license plate and description pulling out of the parking lot. Odor of alcoholic beverage, watery bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech were observed on the defendant. SFSTs were refused, sample was refused, and warrant was obtained.
Look to see if there are any prior DWIs.
I'll take a look right here. You see that?
My dog stepped on a bee.
There's just,
You have any traffic infraction? Did you tell me that there was a traffic infraction?
There was not, Your Honor. They were alleging a ABI. The security guard was alleging an ABI. So I can reread it if you want. Officers were dispatched to an assault in progress. They went to the restaurant, spoke with a security guard who advised they kicked the defendant out because the restaurant was closing and the defendant was intoxicated. Defendant's friend pushed the security officer, but he did not feel pain. Security guard observed the defendant drive away. Officers located the vehicle, matching the license plate, pulling out of the parking lot, and that's when they conducted.
What assault are you saying that they were investigating? The one against the security guard?
Yes.
There was no assault.
Well, it was a class C because there was no pain.
If I may, Your Honor, I believe from the summation, it was that his friend was the one alleged to be the one to push the security guard. So I'm not sure why
Is that
Mr.
right?
Hussein is involved.
Yes. Says Mr. Croker, which is the complainant, told officer that the defendant's friend pushed him, but Mr. Croker did not feel pain.
Oh,
Mr.
so the
Croker-
friend. So why is there someone chasing after him? Why didn't they go after the friend?
Okay, so when I'm looking at the sworn statement, Your Honor, Officer J. Puente, which is the officer who ultimately pulled him over, observed the suspect's vehicle that matched the description of the vehicle Mr. Crocker described, pull out of the restaurant, I don't know how to pronounce that word, parking lot, and failed to signal a lane change. Officer then conducted a traffic stop.
That's something different.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out
Something
what the
different
correct-
because my curiosity is was there a traffic infraction to legally stop it?
They're alleging failure to maintain a signal, failure to signal a lane change in their sworn statement here. I'm reading it word for word.
Okay. So then what happens after they pull him over and then
Officer
what?
then conducted a traffic stop at the 11700 block of North Freeway, North Service Road. Officer identified the driver of the vehicle as the defendant. Officer Puente then observed the defendant to have an odor of alcoholic beverage on his breath, watery bloodshot eyes, slurred speech. officer detained the defendant.
That's what I was curious about. That's what I was curious about.
Okay, and then he declined everything, so a blood warrant.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. You said I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with you on the DWI. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of dope, I will put you in jail. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Yes, Your Honor.
You sure? Because if you don't, I'm going to tell you that you may not drive. Aseguranza.
Yes,
En tu nombre.
yes, Your Honor.
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor.
I want you to check before you leave here today, because if not, you may not drive. You can do it later.
He's just saying that you can't legally drive if you don't have a driver's license and you don't have insurance.
I do it. I do it.
In your name.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So no drinking, no drugs. You will be randomly tested. Are you a United States citizen?
No.
Are you in this country with or without permission? Understand, the more cases you pick up, the higher likelihood you have of that permission being revoked. You understand? I don't know if he understands.
Yes, Your Honor. I
Please.
understand. No more problem.
No more issues.
No more issue.
All right. I'll have you go to Victoria. We'll have you sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Jeremiah for your bond conditions. And after that, you'll be free to go. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. Would you prefer a translator? Porque tú tienes abogado, no tienes que regresar, pero tienes que mantener contacto con tu abogado. Si ella viene aquí y me dice que no puedes tener contacto contigo porque no estás, te voy a revocar la fianza y te voy a poner en la cárcel. ¿Entiendes, Méndez? Okay. All right. That way. Thank you.
I'm gonna sneak into his house tonight and sew sequins on all his polka dots.
Susan Johnson, ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am.
Officer dispatched to meet the officer call. Trooper on scene advised that they initiated a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle for speeding 175. Trooper on scene advised officers that they observed defendant to have glassy eyes, slurred speech, odor of alcoholic beverage. Responding officer observed the same signs. Inventory of the vehicle yielded a half-empty bottle of Patron. DIC read, sample refused, warrant obtained. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN, 6 out of 8 walk and turn, 4 out of 4 one leg stand. And Your Honor, the prior DWI was from 2013, because of probation. And she has one dismissed in 2001, but I don't see the reason for dismissal out of county.
So she has another one that's dismissed as well.
It's dismissed, yes, sir.
Where was that one from?
Centerville?
Can you look to see if there are any more DWIs anywhere else?
No, sir. The only other prior is from 1983. She had some kind of delivery charge. That was a 20-year TDC.
You realize that a third, you're facing 2 to 10 at the penitentiary, right? Ms. Johnson, not only that, but if you have alcohol in the car with an open container, it's a minimum of 5 days in jail pursuant to any sentence that you may get. I'm finding probable cause in your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock. If you're caught driving a vehicle that doesn't have an interlock, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
I'll also order you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. I want to make sure that there's no alcohol, no drugs. If I find that you do, I will put you in jail. If you continue to use alcohol and dope, I will put you in a rehab facility. So I don't know if you have any kind of drug or alcohol issues. If you do, you better address it, because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. And I promise you, you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand me?
I understand. Your Honor, I was having a medical emergency. When he talks about I had a bottle in my car, it was in my trunk in a.
Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent, exercise the right. Now's not the time to fight your case. Everything you say, he's sitting there typing it down. You'll have a lawyer at some point. This person will go to bat for you. Now's not that time. Tell me, what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm taking care of my husband for the last 5 years.
Do you earn an income from taking care of your husband, like home health care?
Well,
Whatnot?
on widow's benefits.
I'm sorry?
Widow's benefits. My
How much
husband
money do
passed
you,
away.
so do you, what kind of income do you have a month?
Widow's benefits.
How much in total do you get a month? You're not answering my question. I don't know why.
2,400 a month.
Is that the total that you get from every source?
Yes, sir. For rental property.
How many rental properties do you have?
Just one.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
No.
I'm going to have you fill out an application. I need to know absolutely everything about you, how many cars you own, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, how much money you own at the bank. You must meet the federal poverty guideline to obtain a court-appointed lawyer. So I take it extremely serious. I need to know everything about you, ma'am.
Mayonnaise
For
or
now,
butter
we'll
grilled
give you an
cheese.
application. You will sign a reset with Victoria. After that, you'll get with Jeremiah for your bond conditions. No more alcohol. You understand?
Your Honor, I was not drinking that night. They kept on saying that, but I had sprayed some mouthwash in my mouth. I'd sprayed some, and that's why the cop said I had alcohol breath.
No alcohol from now on, okay? Even mouthwash, anything. If you do, and it tests positive, we will assume that you're consuming alcohol, all right?
So they didn't even take a breathalyzer.
Is there a blood test taken?
The IC was read, sample was refused, so a warrant was obtained.
There was a blood sample that was taken from me, so we'll see what
Your
it
Honor, I
had.
had a double mastectomy, so I have no lymph nodes in my armpits. So the fluid my blood does not circulate, so you cannot get a good reading. I told them to take a reading from my ankle, and they refused.
Reading what reading?
Reading a blood reading from my ankle and my vein. But they took it out of my arms, and I have no circulation.
If you didn't have any circulation, you'd be dead, man. Of course you have circulation.
I have no lymph nodes under my armpits.
But that has
I have
nothing
no
to do with your blood.
circulation.
The lymph nodes are there to attack and fight and, create blood cells to help
It
fight.
doesn't circulate my blood, and I tried to tell them they had to take it out of my ankle. They would not. You should see what.
We will see later on, let's see where the evidence comes to, because the evidence is going to point to whose side is correct, either your side or the DA's side and the officers. I don't know. We will not know any of this until we get the evidence. For now, we need you just to fill out the application. If you qualify, we'll have you talk to the lawyer. From no alcohol from now on, though, man. Okay? Please. I didn't even ask, does she have a Texas driver license? Do you see? Thanks, Jeremiah. I totally forgot.
Sign for your reset, please.
Your Honor, I need to drink alcohol to circulate the
She's
blood
on the
through my
lawyer.
lymph nodes. No one understands. No one gets it.
All right, Chief 16, Martinez, Megan.
Good morning, Ms. Martinez. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, ma'am.
Traffic stop for a vehicle traveling 70 miles per hour and a 45 was conducted and failing to maintain a single lane in close proximity with other vehicles. I also observed watery eyes and slurred speech from the defendant. Defendant admitted to consuming 2 double vodka drinks as well as prescription drugs. SFSTs were conducted, 6 out of 6 HGN. 1 leg stand and walk and turn were refused. DIC was read, sample was refused, a warrant was obtained for her blood.
You see if she has any prior DWIs, and does it say what kind of dope she was taking? What kind of pills?
So she has PCSs, but no DWIs, no prior DWIs. With regards to the medications, let me take a look. Okay. Wellbutrin, Abilify, and Adderall.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or dope, you will go to jail. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, ma'am? Do you have valid liability insurance in your name? Then you are not allowed to drive, ma'am, and I'm going to have you sign an affidavit promising me you're not going to drive until you have liability insurance in your name.
He didn't yell at her.
If you violate this court order, crap, and I don't have it.
He didn't wave the paper around.
I'm going to have you sign an affidavit. If you drive in violation of this affidavit, I can have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. You understand? Do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're going to do about that. Do you work?
I work like 1 day a week.
Why?
Contract work and they don't have any work right now.
Why can't you get another job? Yeah. What do you do for the rest of the time?
How's the
Xbox.
How much money do you get a month?
I mean, I there's periodic jobs that last 2 days or so, like a per diem for that. So that's one, amount. And then like usually if I don't work any jobs, I'll make about, with child support subtracted, I make about $77 a week.
So you live on the child support then?
No, I don't get child support. I pay child support.
You pay child support. How much do you pay in child support?
$3 a month.
How are you swinging all this?
Well, I'm behind a little bit, but I pay whatever I can. He said he's $77 and I get $78.
Okay.
That whatever amount he's like $153 taken out if I make a full.
All right. So would you like to apply for an appointed lawyer then, ma'am? Okay. No more alcohol and do not drive until we give you permission. Do you understand? Otherwise, imagine if you don't have anyone to pony up $5,000 to get you out on a bond, you'll be stuck like Chuck in jail. You understand?
There you go, guys. He said it.
Okay, ma'am. We'll have you go this way. Swear to us that you're not going to drive. We'll give you the application. You'll sign a receipt with Victoria, and then we'll get you with Jeremiah for your bond. Oh, that's it? Any THAs?
Yes,
Okay, come on.
All right, go ahead and see Jeremiah. All right, Judge, you ready?
Yeah.
Page 2, Burnett, Charles, come on up.
Oh my God, Fozzie. I just thought of something. Fozzie, that lady in chat, sorry, that lady in the comments who got really mad at me for replaying for Fleischer, she's going to see this. She's going to have an aneurysm because I'm replaying Fleischer. This is the best day of my life.
Mr. Burnett, do you have a lawyer today?
Yes, sir, but he haven't showed. I hired one, Joseph Landberg.
Okay. Is he, he's not coming here today? Or he's coming here?
I talked to him Friday, he said he gonna send his assistant.
Okay, so just hang him back and then we'll wait for them to show.
Right this way. Okay, sign.
Okay, who's next?
Page 3, starting, Justine.
Good morning, ma'am. Do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that. I'm sorry? Tell me why you can't afford a lawyer.
Well, I work for, I pay all my bills and the money I make is like, just pay bills.
How much money do you make a month?
About 16, 1800.
Where do all your expenses go?
Rent, bills, Wi-Fi, food.
Do you have any children?
No.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a preschool teacher.
Oh, you're a school teacher. Oh, we love teachers. Absolutely, we'll give you a lawyer. But let me ask you, did you get car insurance?
No, I haven't been driving.
Don't drive unless you have a license and car insurance. Otherwise, it's going to go sideways real quick. Okay. Do you mind giving an application? Deputy Simpson, please. Hi, Day. Happy Monday. So I gave her an application. Victoria.
Caraway, page 4.
Mr. Caraway, do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that. How many have you spoken to?
About 3.
That's not enough. And why can't you afford a lawyer? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? How much money do you make a month?
1,000.
So tell me why you can't afford a lawyer.
Bills on my son. My son be having doctor visits that cost money. It's a lot.
Perhaps you've not spoken to enough lawyers. There are a gajillion and one lawyers in Harris County. It's a matter of you calling them. It's like buying a car. You don't go to a Ferrari dealership for a lawyer for a car. You go to one that you can afford, like a Honda, and you negotiate with them. Say, okay, I can give you a couple $100 here, and they'll put you on a payment plan. Have you tried that?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Who did you talk to?
Can't remember their names, but I know it was a couple that I called, and it was one of my girlfriend, her grandmother had a lawyer, and I talked to him also. But that was about 3.
Are you married?
No, sir.
How many kids you got?
1.
Do you have custody of the child? So do you get support for the child? Where's mom? So you're together with her. Does she work as well? What does she do? What does she do?
I'm not sure. She worked for a company. I don't know.
You're not going to be sure what she does when she works at home and you live with her, huh?
I don't remember the name of the company.
I don't. Well, Caraway, right? Mr. Caraway, I don't believe you. And I want you to start looking for more lawyers because I don't think you qualify. So I want you to start looking real hard. Go on the internet, Get la subasta, whatever you need to do, start looking, start negotiating. You understand, sir? Please.
Right this way. Page 5, Cato, come on up.
You watching?
Okay, Mr. Cato, do you have a lawyer today? For sure, absolutely. We'll give you more time. Yeah. If you want to head on over to Victoria, we'll give you another 30 days. Please have a lawyer when you come back, sir. Okay? Please.
Page 8, eBay Richardson.
What page? Levi, do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that.
School right now, and I was also injured.
You're what?
I was also injured and I was in the hospital.
How?
I have a chronic situation with my body. So I have a chronic situation with my body.
Tell me about it.
I had a colostomy bag and I had an infection in my stomach. So I was in the hospital. I had my paperwork from the hospital here. And I was also injured in my shoulder.
What happened? You get shot?
I got shot in my stomach.
Where? Finally caught up to you.
Huh?
Finally caught up to you. Everything caught up to you. Mr. Richardson, how long have we been dealing with each other?
This has been over since 2015. I've just been having infections in my stomach. That's what
When did you get shot?
2015. And the last time was 2019.
How is in you, if you got shot in 2015, since that time, you've picked up a criminal mischief, theft, felon in possession, interference, assault, PCS, assault, DWI, felon in possession, DWI, felon in possession, terroristic threat, felony assault, and now another gun case. I've never seen this. You've never told me about this at all. In the last 5 years, you and I have been dancing.
But a lot of them, Your Honor, were also dismissed. A lot of them were also dismissed, Your Honor.
How is it that this is the first time we're dealing with this issue now? You tell me about getting shot after all the stuff that you and I have been dancing for the last umpteen years.
But Your Honor, if you actually look at my medical records being injured, I spent a lot of time in the hospital and going through surgeries back to back, being incarcerated, and I have my medical reports right here.
Dave, will you refresh my memory? What happened in Mr. Eby's case
He
again?
had a prior DWI that was dismissed, but he had another DWI in this court that was a conviction in 2023, January 2023. He was charged with felon possession of weapon, and I just emailed Pavel this will be indicted as a felon possession of weapon.
That's what I'm just
waiting for.
I was relying on other people, but I'm gonna have to indict it on my own. But I'm in trial tomorrow, so I can't do it.
Where are you in trial? Here with us?
There's one left on the trial docket, Judge.
So since I'm in trial, I'm in a trial prep mode, but I do have do have a couple.
They hit you with another third degree now because of this. Don't say anything. Just don't. I will give you a lawyer today, Mr. Ebi, but it's over and over. It just, you can't expect good things when good things to happen when this behavior persists over and over and over. Deputy Simpson, you might give him an application, please.
A realistic timeline is probably somewhere in there.
So I would be on the lookout. It's a matter of time before they hit you with a felony warrant, Mr. Ebi. So be on the lookout. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to be in possession of weapons. Do you understand? Correct. You're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon, but you are a convicted felon. You're not supposed to have a gun. You're not supposed to have any weapons. Do you mind filing those conditions, Dave, please? No weapons.
Yes, Judge.
And let me ask you this. Was he also driving at the time with this case?
For his charge, Judge, he was, yes, Judge.
You don't have a license, a Texas driver license, do you?
You gave me my own condition every time I'm saying no driving. No.
Okay, all right. Don't drive. Above all else in your life, do not drive. All right.
It looks like you signed those conditions, Judge.
Yeah, I see it. I just saw it. Okay. He's good to go with you, Deputy Simpson.
Page 10.
It just clicked when you told me. It just clicked. I don't know why it didn't click earlier. The mics are running slow today.
I was trying to figure out if he's 25 to life, and it looks like he's not. He has one state jail.
How many pen trips he got?
He's got two. Well, no, one.
Well, if he's-
One's the state jail and one's the.
So yeah, he's a 15 to life then.
Who you paying? Who you paying?
So have a signature. That out.
Yes, sir. No, sure.
Which one?
Espinosa, page 10.
Mr. Espinosa, do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that.
Well, I called a couple places, but I don't really got the money for it. I'm not working or nothing.
I'm not.
Well, really, it's transportation, but I've been searching and getting like over the phone interviews and not getting calls back. But I've been trying to get one though.
People aren't going to come to you looking. You're not a king, man. They're not going to come to you to give you work. You got to go look for it. Just because you ain't got a ride doesn't mean that you can't work.
Yeah, I've been calling a lot of people.
But what's him? Perhaps you can get work at a temp agency. But how are you surviving now?
My people.
So why do the people of Harris County get to pay for a lawyer for you when you get to play Xbox all day and do nothing?
Play no game.
So what do you do all day?
Try to figure out how to get some money for my daughter.
Man, you got a kid and you're not working.
If I had to sell my game just to pay for diapers and wipes and stuff, I do contribute and
you don't contribute, hey, man.
Get real. My daughter's thing.
Kids need food, they need clothes, and they need a father. And you're not doing any of those things, Mr. Espinosa. Get a job. Kids need to eat. They don't wait. They need food now. I'm now making it a condition of your bond for you to get a full-time job. If you don't, you're going to be working with me. You understand? It's not going to go well for you, Mr. Espinosa. I want you back here in 2 weeks. Show me what you've done to get a job. I want to see applications in, and I want proof, not your word, because I don't take your word. You ain't got proof, things are going to go real bad for you real quick. Do you understand?
Your Honor, if I may. I'd like to move for another bond condition. We received a notice that this defendant was attempting to purchase a firearm while having an active MOAB. It wasn't enough to charge him at the time, but he was attempting to purchase the firearm. And so I want to add no conditions or no contact conditions with any locations that sells firearms.
It was because I had pawned.
Stop. Don't, because you're only going to get yourself in more hot water.
Nice save.
It was the deadline.
Stop. Where did he go to buy this gun? Allegedly.
It's gonna take me 30 seconds for me to look.
Wow. That's great. You're able to tell that he was trying to get a gun, huh?
We get a flag.
And your money. Day, your money.
I won't be able to have it today, but if he is returning in 2 weeks, I should be able to tell you by then. I don't have the report number to pull it up, but I can reach out to intake and figure out where it was.
I'm trying to explain that.
Hey, so here's the deal. I'm putting him under bond conditions, no dope, no alcohol.
My only additional condition was any location that sells a firearm so that he doesn't attempt to purchase another firearm.
Let's do this. I'm sending you for a drug test right now. I want to see what's in your system. Let's see why you're not working. You've been smoking dope all day. We'll see. Take your seat for me in the jury box, Mr. Espinosa. Who's next?
Page 14, Jill.
Good morning, Ms. Hill. Do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that. Tell me what are you doing about that?
I am still looking. I was going to see if I can request more time for that. Please.
What do you do for a living?
I do hair.
Okay. Do you have any children?
Do not.
How much money do you make a month?
Like $1,400. It really just depends on my clientele.
Okay. Can you afford a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll give you more time. We'll give you another 30 days. Okay. If you have any issues, just come back and let us know. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Please.
More time.
Yes, ma'am.
Page 14, Houston.
Good morning, Miss Houston. Do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that.
This accident, because my placenta.
Your placenta's bruised.
Yes, I had.
So I don't want to ask, but you're, okay. It's never good to ask that question because you always get in trouble, you know? So you're not working currently?
So I have like a little money saved up.
No, I don't want to take all your money. Don't worry about it. No, don't. I'll give you a lawyer today, okay? Just, let me see if I have an application on the file. Okay, I need you to fill out an application for me and then I'll have you speak to a lawyer today. Okay, Deputy Simpson will give you an application. Deputy Simpson, you might give her an application, please.
Ms. Johnson? Page 19, North, come on up.
Would you say this one?
North, page 19.
All right, Mr. North, do you have a lawyer today? Tell me what you're doing about that. How long you been trying to look for a job?
Since the 4th last month.
When's the last time you've worked?
I was in school.
In that long?
Yeah.
Why?
I just got out of school, so
That out of school where? Did you graduate? That out of what school?
Texas Southern. I just been in school, so.
So you're in college?
I have a little small business, so I've been looking for clients, but that hasn't been going, so I was trying to book jobs at McDonald's and security for every job you get. So.
How old are you now? You're 30. And so you went to college? And then what happened with college?
Got out like last year.
Let me ask you something. How bad is it now to try to get a job? How bad is it? Does it suck? Is it hard to get a job? You're now charged with theft, Mr. North. How bad do you think it's going to go if you get convicted of this theft? You think it's tough now? Wait till you get a theft conviction on your record. You now have a prior interference that's been dismissed. You now have to stand charged with theft. You will never get a job if you're branded a thief. And you're charged with a lot of money theft. So you think it's hard now? It only gets harder the older you get. It don't get easier. It gets so much more difficult.
All right, yes, sir.
Do you mind giving an application, please, Mr. Deputy Simpson? Use it wisely. I don't give lawyers to people who continue to pick criminal cases. This is now 2. No more.
He's so calm today.
Okay. No. Let's go through the THAs. The dude just got here at 9:45? No.
Page 23, Lenny,
What page?
Page 23.
Winnie. Oh, so, I'm sorry, Quinny. Q. Mr. Quinny, do you have a lawyer today? Take a seat for me in the jury box, sir. Good job. Wonderful. Yeah, please.
Patterson, come on up. Page 20.
Okay. All right, Mr. Patterson, you're charged with criminal trespass and having a deadly weapon. As a result, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have a look of bewilderment on you. On April 14th, did then and there unlawfully, with notice that entry was forbidden, intentionally and knowingly enter and remain on the property of another, namely Concepcion Mejia Cruz, without the effective consent, and the defendant carried on or about him a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, while committing said offense. As a result, you're facing now up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. Please say nothing.
124 apartment complex within Harris County, reference to a suspicious person inside an apartment that the complainant stated that was supposed to be vacant. Found there was observed kind of damage on it. Officers made scene, and they found 2 juveniles inside the unit. And as it was cleared, they re-entered and found this now defendant in the bathroom hiding. There was a firearm, a black 9mm Ruger with the serial number defaced and unreadable, scratched off with an unknown instrument that the defendant admitted was his in his possession.
Patterson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. How old are you, sir?
21 now.
What do you do for a living?
I really I've been fired, but I used to work.
Where do you live now?
With a friend named Mike Cypress.
You have any folks around?
Yes, sir. I do. I have my mom and my dad. They live together in Missouri City.
You don't live with them? Why not?
I got put out.
Get back there.
I mean, I could. My mom wants me there, but like my dad, we had got to like a big fight, so it's still kind of like, you know.
So now you're living on the street.
Basically, yes, sir.
That sucks, and it's not going to get any easier, and it's only going to get worse, Mr. Patterson. You have but one life to live. This journey can be wonderful and great, where you do great things and buy great things, or it can be a miserable, rotten existence of life. You're headed toward a rotten existence where you're going to be nothing, and then I'm telling you, Mr. Patterson, you're living your best life now. The older you get, the worse it gets. You become bigger, you become fatter, you get uglier, you lose your hair, and you become more and more unemployable. If you don't do something with your life now, I'm telling you, you're going to end up with a number on your back forever. I see it on a daily basis with the people in jail. If you don't believe me, I can put you there now so you can see. Straighten up. Go apologize to your parents and get your butt into school, because I'm telling you, you now prepare yourself for the next 40 years. And if you don't prepare yourself well, you will end up with nothing. Do you understand? Go back home, get into school, and do something. I'm now ordering you not to go back to the house that you were busted and not to be in possession of weapons. You understand? I'm telling you, you violate these conditions, I will put you in jail. And if you don't have anyone to bond you out, you'll be stuck like Chuck. You understand? Please. I'm going to give you a lawyer today. So I don't want you to pick up any new cases. I don't want you to violate these conditions. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I will keep you with a very high bond. You understand? All right. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset, and then I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box while we get all your conditions and your lawyer. Okay. All right? Speak English, sir.
Yes.
They're not very happy with you, and they want to withdraw from your case. Do you know why? Guess. Why are they unhappy? ¿Por qué no están contento contigo? Tu abogado.
I don't know.
Porque no le has pagado.
Yeah, I pay already.
Saying that you pay.
I
Mira,
pay already.
te voy a dar 2 semanas, tienes que poner la cosa en tu auto, tienes que pagar la fianza para entrar en este programa. Tienes 2 semanas para hacerlo.
Ya tengo la cosa en el carro. You know,
Okay, so solamente tienes que...
I made a mistake.
Yeah.
He's paid. He's
Yeah,
paid for it.
yeah, paid.
I made a mistake. I was looking at that one and looking at that one.
Great.
That's my fault.
So we're happy?
I have to apologize.
Okay.
So we're happy, Mr. Goins?
Yes, we're happy.
Fantastic. All right, so mira, muy bien. Solamente tienes que pagar el 300 para entrar el programa y ya vas a entrar. Okay, te voy a dar 2 semanas para hacer eso. Tienes que hablar con tu abogado y ellos te van a ayudar. ¿Ok?
Gracias.
Por favor.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad it ended in a good result.
I'm glad I saw it. I feel bad.
So if, like I said, if Cooper doesn't show at that point, I'll sign your withdrawal.
You knew I'd say so. You knew I'd say so.
My name is Riley Rose.
Hi, Riley. Okay.
I have
Does it go this way?
You're talking about,
Miss Fiona. So she is here and she gave me a certificate that she completed the lab 15 interview and she's attended 3 AA meetings. Did you want to talk to her?
No, we need to send her for a drug test. Make sure she's not using, okay? And then, so what we do is she is AA 3 times a week. She's
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We get to see Fleischer ×2 because we saw him doing this before in this jacket. I love this jacket. It's just so funny that, so the very first time I showed Fleischer, he wasn't in the video at all, just his voice, that's it. because I knew just from that first day that the way he dresses and everything, that was going to be a main focal point. And I wanted everybody to hear this judge before they saw this judge. And every single day, the biggest thing we talk about is his his outfits. What is he wearing? What color is he wearing? Is it what kind of tie is he wearing? What color is his watch band? Or this is a far number two. This is number two, but it's really far down. It's always his clothes. What is he eating? What is he drinking? What kind of snacky snacks does he have today? The lollipops are great. When he pulled out that lollipop in the middle of a jury trial, I lost it. That was so funny, and he does it again and again for jury trials too. But hey, whatever keeps him engaged. Sometimes jury trials, they get pretty boring. I had jury duty once and I damn near fell asleep. It was like 3 days long, and every 5 minutes I was like waking myself up because it was so boring. But everybody from Collins Chat, thanks for the raid. It's so exciting for me. You have no idea how excited I get. I don't even know what to say when it happens. I was just like, duh. It was great that Colin came over. I showed him on my stream the other day in the back row. Yes, I did. That was really exciting. Court crawls are so cool. I would love to do a court crawl, but I'm in Pennsylvania, so there's just no live streaming in Pennsylvania, which is just terrible. It's not as bad as New York. Man, I would love New York. Oh, if I could just find a couple courtrooms in New York. But I have Jersey, and it's close enough, And I got that judge in Jersey from Nigeria that I love watching. He's so good. Yeah, but if you did come from another streamer, this is your first time, I don't really show the judges on here that you're used to. You won't see Judge Manning, you won't see Judge Simpson, you won't see Judge Middleton, even though I dearly, dearly love them. There's just a plethora of other judges out there that nobody gets to see. Colorado, New Jersey, Texas. So, that's what I'm doing. I just keep looking at the clock thinking courts are going to open soon. It's like midnight. I have so much more time. Well, God, what was her name? Jennifer something? I can't find her stream. So I can sometimes find Kentucky and then sometimes not. Just like Alaska. Every once in a while I can find Alaska. The problem with Alaska is I have never once found a live stream from Alaska where the audio is anything at all okay. You guys would never let me play it. I would I would never hear the end of it. Speaking of audio, the other day I played some clips from Florida and a percentage of you couldn't hear. Yep, Libsyn. A percentage of you couldn't hear the audio at all, which was terrible because it was hilarious. And I think I know why. So in that courtroom, almost in all of Florida, all the Florida courtrooms that I get, they do mono. They only do one, like if you have your headset on, it's only on the right side or it's only on the left side. Their sound is mono. So, a lot of us are set up so that mono goes through both. But if you're not, then you got a 50% chance of hearing that sound or not. So I think from now on, for every Florida courtroom, I'll put the audio through one of these stupid software programs and make sure that it's stereo so that you guys can hear it. And that's a shame because it was so funny. I don't know. I wonder now that the video is on YouTube, if you listen to it now, if you can hear it. I don't know if it's different because it was live. I don't know. Probably not. That doesn't make sense to me. But it's a shame. Melanie, honey, you're not drunk by yourself. Do not worry. It's my Friday. I have off the next 2 days, so the weekend has just begun for me. I do have to get up tomorrow and get the court cases going. I hope that trial that's I'm getting upstairs is really good too, because you guys are gonna love it with the Australian accents. I love accents. So chat was super great today. My chat is always great. I mean, it's way better than the videos. 100%. The chat is better. I just play a video and you guys just take it from there. And you never disappoint, never. All right, I'm gonna try to get some jersey tomorrow. Oh, your surgery. Hey, Tammy, you're feeling a little better then. And maybe you have pain meds, which helps. Hopefully. Thanks, Casey. Tammy, just rest. Because nothing is worth it. That's all I can tell you. You know, rest. Don't think you have to do anything. You don't. Whatever you don't do, it will get done. Or it won't get done. Who cares? The more you rest, the faster you'll be up. Taking care of everybody else again. But if you try to take care of everybody else now, you are never going to get better. And then you're just going to be taking care of everybody through pain. So rest. Just rest. They'll be okay. They will. All right, guys. I hope you have a good, night, day. I don't even know what to say. It's 12:30. I hope you have a good one. There we go. No AM, PM pronouns here. Hope you have a good one, guys. And I won't stream at 4:30 this morning. I won't. I don't have anything to stream. Nope. Don't say that. I don't have anything to stream. So I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to stay in bed until court's open. And nobody's getting me out of bed for nothing. Well, I don't know. My bladder might, because, that just happens. And my belly might, because I love snacky snacks. Oh, beautiful. Chat is right. Behave, guys. Behave. I don't want to catch any of you on my YouTube. I'm going to play it. Don't even think I won't, but I don't want to. Don't make me do this, okay? I don't want to see you on here. Well, I did show Colin on here, but I don't think he counts, right? He was in court, and I showed him. But I don't think that counts. Thanks for coming out. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm sorry for everybody who has to go to work today. I'll be thinking of you. No, I won't, because I'm not thinking about work at all. You guys are great. I hope you guys have a good day. See ya.